thinking that I could have done something, but now I'm left with an empty heart. No making amends, no waking up beside you and holding you till we forget it all. How could I know there was no second chances? Like dominoes, my life got really scattered. You couldn't keep the door shut, and now the frostbite's creeping in. 'Cause I've been stone cold since you left me here. So come home, why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. Got me stone cold. No Wizard of Oz can undo what I've done. Completely out of luck this time. I'm stuck in reverse. I gotta get away now, but I can't seem to take the lead. Oh baby, how could I know there was no second chances? Like dominoes, my life got really scattered. Still, I find myself hoping that you'll find your way back to me. 'Cause I've been stone cold since you left me here. So come home, why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold.
I'm doing
No, I'm
fantastic,
not.
McCready, but apparently you
No,
were,
I'm not.
apparently on one of the end, you were, you know, the mix. No, you're back now. I think, Creedy, are you back? Oh, glorious. Oh, no. So, okay. McCready he's gonna be working through his mic issues. We'll get them solved, we'll get them fixed so you can hear his wonderful voice. But
Hello.
Playday 7 here at the Badass University All Stars, and well, on the virtual cast desk is gonna be myself, Whippet, and McCready, and I believe your mic is back.
I
Yes?
hope. Yeah,
Fingers
is
crossed?
it? Yes, we've got it. Hello,
Woo!
welcome. I'm very excited today, and apparently my mic just couldn't keep up with the excitement. We've got Team Triton and the Lockdown Ludens, a lineup that last season would have been incredible to see, and one that I did not miss at all, and it's one that I don't want to miss at the moment. Lockdown Ludens being the Round 1 Season 1 winners, and they were still a very competitive team throughout the entirety of Season 1, whereas Team Triton, they've made themselves one of the strongest teams so far, and are looking to keep on that dominance. Honestly, looking forward to today. This is really the powerhouse game that we want to look towards. But let's take a look at what we're actually going to see, because there's not just the one game, there's actually three. Today, what we've got coming up is the Lockdown Ludens and Team Triton, Randy Ravens and Chimp Hunters, and then the Froggers and the Minutemen. And something interesting with it, Jerry pointed this out with me last week. There's only two teams with actual, like, men or, like, not animalistic imagery with them. That's Minutemen, and I think the other one is the Princesses.
I mean, Team Triton aren't necessarily animal, they are a depiction of a Greek god.
I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't say it's
Oh,
human.
okay,
Maybe.
okay, we'll go with that. Okay, we've only got two teams that have humans as the representative on their logos. Okay, I think that's fair. That's an interesting factor. Thank you, Jerry, for bringing that to our attention last time you remember. But again, an absolutely stacked play day here. Remember, this play days are divided up into 2 days, so we will have some action tomorrow for you as well. But our very first matchup of the evening is going to be Team Triton versus Lockdown Ludens, and currently Team Triton, well, they're leading the charge. They are number one in your standings, and well, they're a very strong side in Lockdown Ludens. It's going to be interesting to see how they shape up with your current leaders of this season.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking at Team Triton. Okay, that's the team that I'm really wanting to look at. But you mentioned a bit about that scoreboard. Let's take a look, because they're the very top. The question is, who's able to catch up? Who's able to really put a dent in their lead at the moment? As you see, Team Triton are above. The Princesses hot on the tails, only 1 point behind, with Max D doing a lot of the work there. Realistically, though, you're looking at Lockdown Ludens, they're mid-table. The opportunity to get a win here can put them up into that second place spot and tied with the Princesses. It's all to play for at this point, because you see in this top team battle, that's going to be huge. Chimp Hunters and Randy Ravens, well, you can see they're a little bit closer together, but still a lot to win. Chimp Hunters can propel themselves to the top of the table if Team Triton loses this game today. So a lot of things riding on this first game, in my opinion.
Certainly. So every time you see a leader go up in playing, it's always going to be important for them to show how dominant they are. And when you look at the deficit, single point separating them away from Princesses. So it's very close and compact at the top. Looking at it, though, like 2 points separating the entire leaders there. Chimp Hunters on 7, Princesses on 8, 9 points for your leaders. This is very tight and compact so far. And, well, going into this one, Triton have to be impressive. They have to be able to get their victory, and if they aren't able to do so, they leave themselves vulnerable. They get leapfrogged as this play day continues to plays out.
Yeah, I think Triton, basically, if you get the win here, you lock in that first place position for another week, essentially. You lock yourself in for a really good showing. The Princesses, if they win their game, they'll only be 3 points behind. They'll only be a point away again. And you just keep on going with this tit for tat. Realistically, Team Triton and the Princesses, it's going to be the case of who cracks first, who loses their first game. And eventually, if they do play each other, I just want to see that. That's going to be incredible. Honestly, I'm not even going to lie about it. That would be such a good game to see. Triton going up against the Princesses. Because Triton, you've got players like Sardine, like Replay. But on the Princesses, you've got the all-time kill record holder, Max D. The rest of the team as well that do actually fill in quite a bit of work, contrary to possibly popular belief. That's the play game I want to see. However, we are going to have to wait a little bit. Let's bring it back to us in just a quick second, Whip It, and let's say, okay, what are we looking forward to? You know, the maps. There's gonna be a lot riding on this first game, like we talked about. How do you see this playing out?
I'm not too sure. Again, before we jump into the lobby, it's always a bit up in the air. But before we can discuss about maps, I think let's meet some of the players that we're going to be seeing in action today. So our roster is going to be up on screen for you now, and well, very exciting stand-up. Let's go team Triton. We've got Replay Octagon, Sardine, Mertium, and... Oh, help me out here. My voice is dying, and I'm very bad at names, McCready.
It's Bajan.
Thank you very much. You take down Lockdown Ludens, because I'm very bad at reading names. It's my kryptonite.
Ah, well. Okay, so Lockdown Ludens, they've stayed the same as Season 1, the only team to actually do so. You've got Proctor, Benji, Gyobu, Gady, and KK. Gyobu and Gady, two players that I absolutely love seeing. When it comes down to a clutch, they are the players to watch out for. They'll play that smoking... I think, actually, no, Gyobu, Gady, and KK. They'll play the Maestro and Smoke. They will absolutely crush it in a clutch scenario, if need be. On the flip side, though, of Triton, I do need to say this. There's a little logo by Octagon. It might be a little difficult to spot, but it's actually my university's logo, Cardiff University. So I have to have a little bit of bias. And then you see Sardine in Kent as well. He used to be in Cardiff University. I played with him last year. So there's a little bit of bias here, I must be honest. But that's going to be perfectly fine. Replay coming in as that substitute, having a much more locked-in position as the weeks have gone on. So definitely a key part of this Triton roster. Whereas Maytums and Majer has that experience in Nukem 2, has played on the Staff Stampede, a huge team in the university scene. So I'm very excited to see Triton and Lockdown Ludens. Both of these teams have a lot of pedigree coming from them.
Certainly so. I think the real thing that does interest me about this is watching a mid-table team try and challenge against the top. And if Lockdown Ludens can find some success here, they might expose weaknesses that other teams might be able to benefit from. So we now have a look at the map we're going to be going to this evening. And well, it's an exciting one. A map that's very close to my heart. And again, it's pretty common. We see it quite a lot, but it's going to, we'll have to run through our map bans before we get to it. Yes, as they start unfolding. Villa, Oregon first to go. They were your auto bans coming out, of course. Love to see the system in play, not meaning we won't have Oregon played every single week. And I mean, auto bans, absolute joy. So the first set of actual bans coming out there is Triton's taking out Clubhouse, as well as Lockdown Ludens removing Chalet from play. Chalet, a map that I really want to say, keep your eyes on this inside of competitive play. It is shaping up to be a fantastic map. Some of the games I've seen on it in recent memory have been super exciting. Coastline and Consulate, last two to go, leaving us with one Sultry Survivor. Cafe Dostoevsky will be our map of choice. Part of that T4 trifecta, but still a very entertaining map to watch. Lots and lots of strategies can come down and define how this is played. There's great differences the teams can bring in identity and how they want to play it. So an exciting battleground for these two teams to shape up against each other.
You want to know what annoys me, Whippet? I have yet to cast Chalet.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that one for a second.
Not
Seriously?
Once. Not at all. Not even. I didn't even cast when the old Chalet was in the combat pool, so I've never casted Chalet at all, completely. But CAF, like you said, is where we're going to be going to. And a big thing for me is Lockdown Ludens have decided to ban out Consulate in favor of CAF. Now, Team Triton, when we saw some of those players that returned from the first season, namely Octagon, we saw a very, very competent Rome on CAF Dostoevsky. It's a map where they're very, very happy to take that defensive side, and because they had the opportunity of the side pick, they're probably going to be there. Now, CAF is a map where the defenders dictate a lot of the pace. It's essentially when the defenders, when they pull back, that's when the attackers start to move forward. That's when they get the map control. The defense, they have a lot of opportunity to dictate how everything goes. They have those roamers, they have these extended holds. As soon as they pull back, then the attackers can actually do something. Big thing for me, Octagon on the roam, it's something to look out for. That man can land just incredible shots, as can the rest of the team. I want to see Sardine on that roam as well. He excels in that role.
Certainly so. As you were mentioning, you kind of perfectly described this map. The defense can dictate and control the pace. The ebb and flow really does come down to what the defensive side tend to do. If you just look at the variation that you have on upstairs holes and downstairs, so many things can be done to slow down and grind that offensive push to an absolute halt. But no more theory crafting, no more anything, no more theories for us as we're able to hop into the server, get ready for some action as our ban phase begins. And, well, I wonder, will we see anything out there, bit out of the ordinary for these ban phases? I'd imagine we're going to be seeing a Thatcher. That's just going to be plain and simple. A Capital or a Hard Breach might be accompanying them. So I'm just interested in this because I've seen some teams in recent times slip away from necessarily being so heavy on that Thatcher ban. But no, today I won't have that joy as he's left on the bleachers early as Team Triton will remove him from action in the very first ban.
Yeah, you see that Thatcher, and suddenly I'm thinking that, well, the top floor, it doesn't really rely on Thatcher. It relies a lot on the pixel hold and the actual opening defense coming out from Team Triton. as we can see on there. Jackal being taken away, well, that doesn't surprise me at all. Ludens, they're known for their roam game. They're known for the ability to just catch players off guard. They play aggressive. They get in places Triton just won't expect them. So, seeing that Jackal ban being taken away, that doesn't surprise me. They know it's a strength of theirs, and a Jackal can shut that down, realistically. The mirror will be taken away, the Cade left on the board, so Team Triton, well, now they're going to have to take away that Cade if they want their defensive side to be a little bit harder, but the other attacking side to be easier. Goyo will be taken away instead. We will not see the Kekta at all, as I know you and Tudors do like to call it. The Cade will be on there. So what I expect to see now is a bit more of an extended hold onto that bottom floor. You don't need to worry too much about the hatch, so you can commit to the roam game. Or you can commit to that extended, wider roam, and you don't have to worry so much about that dining.
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of rewind just a little bit and talk about what I think this Thatcher, or not the Jackal ban is, and kind of throw your memory back to when Bank was in a competitive pool, where they would be used to go up to a skylight, throw on the Inox goggles, and be able to have a scan to check if there's any roam presence. As you mentioned, Ludens like to have that roam presence, and if someone were to walk up to the skylight and cafe on a defense that wasn't that side, they could instantly have some solid information that there was a roam presence, and even isolate that away with the ping. So it's a ban that makes sense, but I can justify why they done it. At the same time, there could have been more operators with better utility that could have took off the board, which might have had a more direct effect on the round itself. But theory crafting aside, we go upstairs, our very first site for Team Triton, and they're going to opt to go bar and cocktail. And, well, it's like that's tried and tested. Everyone knows how to play it, everyone knows how to defend and attack, and with that Kayed in play, those electric claws can be placed down below, vertically, and make it very difficult to break open this wall unless you have an IQ that can spot that out and go below, or even that Kali if you can position it absolutely perfectly. But still, yes.
I need to stop you. That Cade? Well, you've talked about the vertical, but that Cade could just go up on the roof. And it's impossible to shoot as an attacker from the skylight. It's really hard to deal with from that piano because, as you can see, you've got the Melusi replay wanting to get aggressive. You're going to have the pixel hold. If you want to take out that freezer, you're going to have to just go around. You can't just get in and say, yeah, I'm going to shoot it from skylight. I'm going to go below and get the IQ, because you can't. That's where Triton's roam game will come in.
Certainly so. I mean, again, the Kayed slipping through the ban phase is an interesting feat. You know, the Goyo was getting banned out in the final ban by Ludens, and again, taking away those shields, the Vulcan shields have a massive amount of area deny potential, and just gives 2 extra shields to the defensive side. So it's a reasonably smart ban. Air jab's getting deployed on the red stairs, going to be able to stop and choke out this roam presence. But as you're mentioning, these electric claws are going to make it very difficult to establish key areas of control, such as freeze around that red wall, and down below his replay. On that aggressive roam, on that Melusi, has a C4 in the back pocket, so with solid information and a good call out, all it's going to take is 2 inputs on that keyboard and mouse, and well, someone might be losing their life very early in this round. Time getting to take away, in a good camera position by Christmas Tree. We hear the Selma is chewing off at a wall in the distance, so I think that red wall is going to be established pretty quickly in this round.
Yeah, now you see where we're seeing replay play. Down in the train engine, now you do have the C4, you do have the information, but the big thing is now that Ludens know that you're playing there, they also know about this. They know you're playing Melusi, they know Melusi has a C4, and with Valkyrie on the board still, you need to worry about that vertical play. Suddenly, you don't feel as comfortable in this piano. You need to clear out Pixel, but as soon as you get into piano, well, you're in a horrible position. That is no more. Now that Proctor's able to find the opening kill, we'll be able to take him down. KK finding an answer onto Sardine. Octagon's there with a refrag, but not enough. You're still 3 versus 4. A minute 10 on the clock, so Triton, they have time to just lock things down and keep these lines of sight. But Ludens in a very, very strong position. They have that soft reach, they have hard reach, they have the flank watch still in play, and now they have vertical control. The team of Ludens will be looking for this execute over towards the long bar, because now that you have player advantages, you know that they're going to be spread thin. There's going to be a player in freezer. You can deal with that. Matums, though, is going to be able to win the gunfight. Gady will trigger the Banshee. And now you're going to see Matums wanting to get aggressive. Octagon and Bathroom can shut down anyone trying to take out this freezer player. So this is a strong position for the defense.
I love this position with the SAS shotgun hold up inside a bathroom, but this time it's going to be held by that Jaeger, so we might be able to lose out that engagement just based on those bullets getting sent out. And a push down towards Skylight drop now as the Ash crouch walking the deep bars. Zafia followed up. The plant's going to go down by default, but Matums lobs that C4 to great effect. Geobu's off the board now, and 17 seconds left. The brawl with Proctor looks to get aggressive, but slapped back down by Octagon. And a 1 versus 3. Now Gady finds 1, 2 more to go. Diffuser's in the back pocket, but can Sophia do anything with it? Has to stick now with 5 seconds left on that clock. The audio is going to be there, surely it is, and falls off to keep Katie alive. Not going to be able to find the shots through the wall. The defense let that clock drown down to 0, and Team Triton take a very successful and dominant opening round here on Cafe.
Huge go now from Team Triton, but Ludens a very, very nice start to really get things going, really get the energy into the game. Big thing for me is the aggressive positioning there. You look at that, you have that smoke plan, you hear the C4 rip. Maybe when you're playing with a push like that and you have time to work with, get aggressive on that plant position. Just say, let's put it down, let's get going, we are going to dictate how this plays out. You didn't do that. The C4 came through from Maidens and just shut everything down. Maidens was able to find a C4 kill. Octagon was there with Megere to start this retake. You're suddenly losing players because that diffuser going down. Ludens, they don't have an option. They can't go back there. They know the sightline's being covered. They have to get aggressive. In that case, you've lost a diffuser, you've lost a player, and suddenly you're running out of time. The tables have turned completely, and you're trying to clutch at straws. Triton, though, very nicely played. You talked about that little angle, well, and I talked about it as well. You had that cover from behind, that meant Cade could get aggressive, that meant Cade could pick up the kill. Suddenly, you've got that player advantage. Suddenly, you're starting to shut everything down and just get that round very comfortably in your position. You win another gunfight, and well, it's all down to the Sophia with nothing to do. Heading down to the bottom floor, though, we will look at a very typical lineup. We're seeing the Mute, we're seeing a Valkyrie, a Cade is going to be going through alongside the Malusian Jaeger, so I don't know, I want to see Sardine on the roam. I love seeing him excel in this position. He loves the Valkyrie, he loves the roam and winning those gunfights. I'm going to be honest, I'm a little excited. I want to see it, dude.
So do I. I always love to seeing someone who's comfortable and confident on that roam presence, being able to dictate the pace and fight those entries head on. But again, perhaps waiting to feel out the opposition of Ludens right now before committing to that full aggressive play. And we'll replay, for the time being at least, is kind of filling that void as well. Now Octagon's going to be a little bit aggressive as well, so perhaps you're getting exactly what you wished for. Proctor's going to make an entryway inside of Garage, and while seeing those blue silhouettes go all the way upstairs, they're not going to be near the action right now, as it looks like a lot of the entryways are happening down at the very ground floor as well as the first floor. So Katie's going to get that drone out, information being relayed, a free reading take seems to be on the board. Proctor's going upstairs to try and clear this and act on that live information. Cautious though, watching this angle open up in Freezer, see if he can catch anyone off guard, but it's not looking anyone's going to stumble into the jaws of that R4C just quite yet. Octagon lines up a shot, Geobu finds a lot of damage taken, reduced to 25 HP, and well, as the ace, the Soul and Solitary Heartbreacher, that could be a massive disaster if they were to drop early in this round.
Now Sledge will be taken off by Megere with a really good C4. The soft breach is still there, the potential is around, but suddenly you're thinking about the position you're in as Ludens. You have those roamers, you have the C4s down below, you have very little map control in the grand scheme of things. That's why you're seeing the rotate to white to say we can't deal with it, we're not going to get aggressive, we don't have a player to give away. Now we're just gonna push Freezer and double doors. That's the name of the game. Catch them off guard. We don't have the hatch, so they can't rotate it, even though we can't drop through there, but we have the vertical play. Things are options, opportunities, they are on the board, and KK's looking to try and find one of them. We'll just play a little bit safe, though. You lose another player, this attack is going to fall flat on its face. Megere looking to be the person to do exactly that, wants to take the gunfight. Very comfortable with the SMG-11, but Gady's going to get tagged up by a different player instead. Ludens are starting to stall out. They're looking very uncomfortable and they don't have the control to go for a plan. Somebody has to get aggressive, someone has to do it, and it has to be the Ludens. Triton, just sit careful. Time ticking down, ticking away, and now we're seeing Proctor starting to get aggressive, but Megere, he knows it has to come. He's coming with a shotgun, he finds one, he can find another one, and he will! Oh, Proctor, you don't get away with that. Replay finds KK, and suddenly Katie will be shut down by Sardine. Team Triton, a flawless round.
Absolutely perfect. Perfection personified right there in that defense of the kitchen. I mean, what more is to be said? They waited absolutely perfectly for Team Triton to come on in towards the objective and collapsed beautifully in towards it. Look at this Megere. One pumps down Geobu and, well, gets the down on Proctor and finishes him off very swiftly. And Replay collecting on his own in a very quick succession there. Absolutely superb defense from Team Triton. They're showing their class and why they're at the top of the table currently. But Lockdown Ludens, that early casualty ultimately spelled a little bit of disaster because they seemingly got stunned by that. It came out of nowhere from them, and they didn't quite have an answer for it. It's very difficult to trade from a C4, especially when it comes from below. It's essentially untradeable unless you have someone in a key position to cancel out immediately. And so from that position, they were just on the back foot all the way from that round, and they just couldn't find the momentum to break through the lines of Triton. So tertiary site time from Team Triton. Will they be able to make it work? Sardine 6 pick to that Frost, which is an interesting decision. The welcome map, safe, unchecked, and unknown, can be, well, something that many players have nightmares of. Wandering through a window just to find yourself chomped by a bit of metal. No one wants that. So will we see them work out? But more importantly, brings out that extra shield. And, well, the SMG, the Sterling SMG, isn't exactly something you turn your nose up either. Decent damage and, well, very accurate at long range and a 1.5x to brawl with. So interesting to see how that's set up. Dude, like set up. So overall, Castle, Kaid is going to be a very strong combination as well. Those barriers upstairs on the castle is going to use as a great extension. Give that extra cover to hold on the cocktail. And those Kaid electric claws, well, they've been a nuisance so far, and I imagine they're going to continue to be so. They've been placed in great positions to really slow down this push of Ludens, and I don't think they have anything to directly counter those claws. There's no Cali brought out, of course. Thatcher's been banned, so they're going to have to work extra hard to clear these walls.
If you're going to bring a Cali on a map like CAF, it's realistically going to be when you know that bottom floor is in play, and, well, Ludens, at least from their first attack, well, they didn't seem to want to commit to that. Triton, though, they are looking to complete a full rotate off the defensive sites. Reading, dining, essentially a top floor hold. But then it's just with a little extra stat, which was great in the 22nd meta. Suffered a little bit to those to the rushes from down below. But that's where your roamers come in. Now, I really like the play we've got here. Sardine has a frostmat below him as soon as he falls down. Well, that's not a bad position. But Replay is going to find the opening kill with that UMP onto Proctor. Octagon wanting to find a gunfight as well. But Sardine's going to take some damage. Right now, Ludens, they've made themselves known as a huge problem area for Triton that they need to deal with. There's only one way to do that. You take the gunfights. You take the opportunity to get the vertical play in. You can see, vertical play, it goes both sides because you've got the shotgun of Megere playing right down below. As soon as the pressure's called out, well, he just springs into action with that shotgun and just starts shooting up. But Replay still in Piano. Once this kill onto Benji isn't going to be able to get it. Suddenly Piano opens up. Even man count. And, well, Ludens, they have a good opportunity, but they need to start capitalizing on it. And that's where they stall out.
It's going to be difficult to capitalize, though. Holding on the cocktail is a very powerful position, and well, right now, oh no, Benji taps away at the feet of Octagon and finds that kill. 2 in the round now for Sledge, and well, this upstairs hold is now going to be holding on by a thread. The last player hold up by Timber, and have support from the white stairs, but that shield isn't going to be long for this world. I'd imagine the retreats occurred, and they're going to be able to scamper back to side, keeping their life in check, but still forfeiting a massive amount of control. Advantage sits with Lockdown Ludens in a 4 versus 3. They have control of Cocktail, but now they can make the vertical positions. They can open them up, but will they capitalize upon them? And the wise words of Enzo, those vertical positions they can open up do work both ways, so they aren't necessarily in for plain sailing. And Major looks like they're interested in taking a fight. The Mute Jammer is going to get slain out from above. The drone is there, but doesn't quite spot out the Mute. Now Will, the SMG-11 up through the rafters, isn't going to find a lot of damage, but enough to Benji to deter him from peeking out for the time being. 40 seconds remain, and the defense are still sitting pretty on the objective. 1 kill will trade us back to level playing field, and imagine they're going to take their time to try and get it. The plant attempt, though, by Geobos here. The cover isn't exactly that adequate, but there it is. Benji gets 1, his 3rd in the kill. Sardine swings around and gets that trade. Plant goes down, however, in a very quick and rapid collapse by Ludens. The moment that the diffuser went active, they were able to close this round out and find their very first successful round here on Cafe.
Yeah, huge play coming out from them at the moment. I think the big thing for Triton was, like you said, they're sitting pretty. They might not push. They might waste their time. No, Triton wanted to get in very early on. In doing so, they had the players nearby. Benji doing a lot of work, really stepping up that round. I'm very impressed by that. And you're seeing the team that get in the crossfire. Triton maybe weren't prepared for that push to come out. And in doing so, as soon as the plank goes down, they start swinging. They start getting aggressive. They have Sardine swinging from that arches. They have a player in that rotate. They both peek, they both get taken out. Possible counters to this. Well, you could go towards pillars. You could get a pinch coming out from there. They're all focusing on the plant. Ludens were very, very tunnel vision from what I remember. They had 1 or 2 players watching the flank, maybe. But catch them off guard. You split the attention. Suddenly the players, they realize they need to look at somewhere else as well. And their position, well, it might be great for a retake coming through from reading. It might be horrible from pillars. However, that's not the case. Ludens were able to win it out. Triton could have played a little bit better in my opinion, but well, that's not going to matter because we're back to the top floor. Now, if you remember this at all, Whip It, we saw the first kill being taken out on the roam clear onto Replay with that C4. Just Replay, let them know that you're there, and then just pull back. Just let them know that they need to clear it out, they need to waste time. That's where we've seen Triton really excel, especially on the defense last time. They broke them down. They lost a couple of players, but then it was just time that really became the sixth defender. The smokes came out, the C4 followed, and, well, Gady had nothing to do. More replication of that is what I want to see. Whereas Ludens, I want to see this roam clear earlier. I want to see them flushing out pixels so much quicker, and I want to see you guys really not be afraid to take gunfights.
I think that's a massive kind of statement there. Being confident and not afraid of that initial gunfight could benefit both these teams. You know, yes, Triton have that one round advantage now, but Lockdown Ludens, they have to make the initiative. They're on the attacking side, and when you're being a little bit more tentative on that attacking side, well, every second counts, and every second you're being a little bit more passive and not making that initial flush, you're acting on solid information, you're giving the defensive side that advantage. Proctor looks to be trying to clear down below, and well, a very wise decision, replays inside of mining. That drone spots out the Malusi, and an active threat of that C4 down below needs to be cleared out and fought with immediately, but there's so much cover here in mining. Yes, you have the information, but, well, they can't act upon it. There's no grenades ready. Replay takes a swing, but narrowly misses the shot of the Ash, and, well, vice versa. Both players just missing each other, bullets skimming off their armor, perhaps, but 5 players still remain on the board. No one's able to capitalize. Now the active threat of that Malusi down below, it persists. They have to hunt them down. Otherwise, that C4 could remain a threat as we move into the later phase of this game. As the Ash now pushing into pillars. That drone's going to be a little bit further behind, waiting for it to take the lead. And, well, we see inside of Reading. That's going to be that Malusi of Replay holding ground, but escaping. Life intact is a great crossfire setup. Sardine finds Proctor, but Benji retorts with a grenade of his own. Shuts down Octagon. That's going to bring us back to a level playing field of 4 players apiece.
That's exactly what I meant when I wanted to see Replay stay alive. He took him on a wild goose chase. You saw Sardine pick up a kill. It was refragged. But still, that's the best you can hope for. Every single gunfight that is not a 2-on-1 in favor of the attackers, well, that's going to benefit the defenders in one way or another. Not as much as a non-trade, but still. Magia is going to hold this position. Going to be very comfortable about it. His frag grenade will come through, will kill Sardine. Maytums is just lying in wait, will get a kill to Benji. A 3 versus 3 falling to Gady, who wants to push in, wants to get control of the site. Magia knows exactly where he is, and knows exactly what he needs to do, but Gady is going to find a kill. Replay getting shut down with a flank one. Ludens, they're starting to step up. This change in pace is noticeable. They're playing it really, really well. The roam clear, the crossfire, the refrags, constant coming out.
They really read into the defense Triton were bringing absolutely supremely. The fact that they initially put their presence on trying to clear that below. Yes, it didn't work out exactly the way intended. They lost their Ash, but they at least read into that very, very much better and were very clued into what was getting brought from Triton. And ultimately, when you're very prepared for what your opposition are going to bring, you know where they're going to be sitting, you know how they play, and they pounced absolutely perfectly, bringing us back to a level playing field, 2 rounds apiece. And very, very tight game now. This has just got really interesting because you've got to remember, Lockdown Ludens, I believe, sitting 5th in our standings right now against Triton, who are your leaders. It's a very, very narrow battle at the top, but right now they're still edging it out with 9 points. This could be a massive upset if Lockdown Ludens can continue to build this momentum, and considering they're doing so well on the offensive side, and this map has been historically weighted towards that defense. Yes, it's, you know, beginning to get close to that 50-50 as every map tends to be right now, but still, if they can get a successful, you know, at least one more round to guarantee they go level in their defensive split, they could be sitting pretty and having a great chance. But let's not count out Team Triton. They've been so effective, they've been so efficient, and well, there's a reason they're top of the standings once again. And I really want to point out the use of this Kaid, the electric claws, are such a punishing piece of utility. It's going to be a massive deterrent, and that wall and freezer is going to stay reinforced this entire round. And one more thing, Maytums is bringing the TCSG. It's not often we see the slug shotgun getting brought out. It's very rare to see someone risking bringing that single or that semi-automatic rifle into the fight. So it's very punishing if they can land their shots, and hopefully they can do so. We've already seen them at least get a kill at least on the last round with it. So keep your eye on that. Perhaps we could see some Raphael moments from the old previous SI when he was able to make work some magic with that one for beating Essen. Well, Replay, he's going to be playing capture grenade, very narrowly missing it, and I wouldn't imagine he would have wanted to call that one. He's going to keep himself in the fight for a little bit longer, but playing no longer downstairs, trying to fight the initial entry by Red is Octagon. First to take a little bit of damage from an unknown source, probably one of those windows, as the ascent to the roof has begun and has been successful.
And now what we're seeing yet again is a very aggressive piano hold. We're making it really difficult for Ludens to take control and start really getting comfortable in the site. Now Proctor, still on that window, has to deal with the threat of this vertical play, this roam, which has been present every single time you've seen Ludens attack this site. They've had to deal with it, and now they're committing Iana to it. They're saying, right, let's get this taken care of. Triton, they want to play a bit more conservatively. They have Octagon and Pixel. They have Replay still alive with that C4, ready for a drop, ready to get below and get a kill. 3 C4s on the board. Any one of them can do it. You just need to have enough players alive. Benji will drone out, will know that this wall is still electrified. There's nobody playing right in there, but they know Pixel, before you do anything in piano, Pixel needs to be cleared. It's a minute 36. 5 seconds away from the halfway mark, and Octagon's going to be able to shut down the sledge, taking away that L85. Benji, who's really been a rallying point for the team in the last couple of rounds, well, he's just going to be taken away. Ludens will at least take control of that piano area. They don't really have the hard breach in a position to start opening things up properly. They can open up Freezer, but, well, what impact is that going to have? You have a sight line, and a C4 can just come through. The information will be brought out from this Valcam that we've yet again seen, and, well, they're just saying, well, we know exactly where they are. Someone gets below with a C4, you've got a huge kill opportunity, but most importantly, you wait. You bide your time, you adjust your defense using this information. That's where you're going to see the teams win. Octagon knows when he's going to have to swing. He knows when a player is vulnerable. The car will be opened up, and Octagon is going to get told very, very soon that you need to start peeking. We'll have the support of Majar on White Stairs, which is going to make this very deadly, as we see Proctor wanting to take the gunfight, making his presence known. Gady's going to win one, Proctor's going to win another. Suddenly a 3 versus 4 in favor of the attackers, and Ludens are in a good spot to at least get a 3-3 spot. The plant has to go down now. We are going to see it as Proctor's able to find another. Majar, though, with the answer, will end the reign of terror, and Sardine, suddenly the only player left, is trying to find something, finds the head of Gady, but the plant's gone down. He needs to find 2 kills to be on that diffuser with 7 seconds left, and KK is just going to say no, getting that ending kill yet again, and Ludens will get a 3-3 split. A very, very strong waking of the dragon here.
Lockdown Ludens have seemingly found that silver bullet to strike through the heart of that upstairs defense, finding 2 consecutive victories against Triton's bar cocktail holding. Well, I mentioned they needed that one more round to at least guarantee going onto a level playing field for their defensive split, and well, if they can continue the build off that momentum, they might find themselves having a very successful offensive split and finishing this 4-2 if Team Triton can't adapt and stop the bleeding now. Kitchen service will be the next side of choice, and a wise decision not to repeat going upstairs. I think at this point, your bar cocktail defense has been cracked wide open by Ludens, and going there again would only be inviting more unnecessary pressure. A Montaigne getting picked out is an interesting choice by Ludens, and an operator you don't see a lot of recently. Because of that change, the guard break mechanic being introduced, it's kind of reduced the overall effectiveness of the French Mountain, and again, he's still very good. And played perfectly.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, what this says to me with the Yana and the sledge is we're going to see Ludens want to take very quick control of dining. Museum, that's the word, not dining. Dining and museum, same thing. And mainly they're going to want to get that main bakery wall open or that prep. In doing so, you want that vertical play, as our wonderful observer science is showing. You get that wall open, you get the utility off of it, you start moving in with that Monty through prep. You don't even need the vertical play to go for this Monty push. In theory, the Yana goes in, the Monty is constantly giving the information, the players follow through. You have a Nomad, you edge off small bakery. You can start moving forward and get crossfires. The big problem is going to be that collapse when the roamers come back into sight, but, well, our observers noticed it, and I have as well. Dining hatch is open. The question is, will Ludens want to take advantage of it? Or will they stick with a very linear one-way push just to catch these roamers off guard? Jobu will take some damage to the spawn peak from Replay, who's, to his credit, he's enthusiastic. He wants it with it, and I think that's very obvious. But bakery, it's going to get open, the drones are going to go through, and the information's going to be given. A very fast take to get the utility off prep. Suddenly, lines of sight are going to be opened up. That will favor the attackers. Time will will tick down very little. Now we're seeing the Monty start to move forward. 2 shotguns, not really going to bother you when you've got a bulletproof shield. You're just giving away the information. The big threat, though, is C4s.
looking at this, it's an interesting decision to push so aggressively and direct as Octagon finds the opening. Kill as Proctor is going to be going to an early grave, and you lose your Yana. The infinite drone potential of Gemini's is gone. Matum TCSG is going to fire up a few warning shots, and well, destructive warning shots they are, as Gage is going to be reduced to around 20 HP, and well, Major lobs off that C4, the Nokia break from hell, and that's going to find that kill. The Montaigne is now off the board, the French Mountain no more, and it looks like this push from Ludens might be getting to fall apart at the seams. KK gets one back for the side of the good, but can they keep battling away? Lots of crossfires established, and perhaps it's blatant around now to rotate off and commit to the verticality, so that could be an interesting one, but it looks like they're seemingly trying to do that. Going upstairs now, but well, look at this replay in a great position just outside of mining to hold any crosses that come up red, and well, Octagon swings and Geobu falls. A great peek there, and that's going to only cause more concern for Triton as replay lying in wait pounces on Benji, and a 4 versus 1 ensues. KK has 4 to find. It's going to be a very tricky ask to do so. Has air jabs deployed to help give some shoring up of that flank, but not many angles to work with, and at this point you're going to be forced to committing to this fight and prep. With 50 seconds left to go, the rotation isn't exactly viable, and I think at this point the defense are going to sit pretty, hold their crossfires, and close out this surefire round. Still a great split from Lockdown Ludens to be able to find themselves level playing field moving on to the defensive half, but miracles don't often happen in Siege, and well, looking at the crossfire getting established here, I don't think one's in store, but perhaps KK is going to try and prove me wrong. 3 versus 1 now finds the kill, and Octagon has it opening by red, by coat check, 25 seconds left to work with. The AK, lots of rounds in that magazine to get aggressive. Oh, that shotgun is so close. That TCSG is just waiting to pounce, and Majerus made up just there. A perfect trade, but when you fight against that TCSG, it only takes 2, and that's going to be the round in favor of Triton.
Well, I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to simply say at the end there, well, it was just a case of too many cooks, really, Whip It. When you look at it, you know, KK was able to find a kill over towards those Harry Potter side, and yeah, that's great. You find Octagon. But, well, that's only one chink in the armor. Triton still have 3 players left. They're holding their angles. You've Matums in that prep. Realistically, I think the big thing for Triton was they just kind of, they weren't caught off guard. Now, they knew, yeah, they liked their roam game. And Ludens tried to take advantage of that by pushing onto site. But Triton had enough players there. They just essentially said, let's bunker down, let's not let them move forward. We take out the Monty, that's their win condition. If they can get the Monty into sight, then the rest of the team start flooding through. If we lock down this Monty's movement, well, we have the opportunity to really lock them down. In doing so, well, they just can't move it forward, they're stuck in bakery, we can start picking them off. As soon as that Monty dies, you're seeing the sledge. Benji, he wants to go up above, he wants to get the utility, you need to go for a more typical take, but you're a player down. You lose that player to the roamer of replay. Suddenly, it's just a case of Triton, they didn't commit as much as Ludens expected them to on the road. Now, though, on the defense, the question is how much are they going to? Ludens are a team that are renowned for being able to just win their gunfights on roaming, but you're going up against Team Triton, which is a big thing for me. Now, I like this line of sight because that Maestro captain, we just saw Gady place down, can actually see all the way to where Proctor is, but it's a very difficult angle to get back, and if you're in Piano, taking damage from it, trying to take it out, you really have to overcommit and expose. You go prone, you're exposed to a swing coming out from Pixel, which is something you never want as an attacker in Piano. Team Triton, they've got a pretty typical lineup, as does Ludens. I'm wanting to see Ludens start to put some rounds on defense, but just as much as I want to see that, Triton, they're a good team. They have the potential to really bring it on the attack. That's what I want to see. Now, Proctor on the roam on red stairs has the opportunity for an opening kill should a player go into that very, very tight pixel. But it looks like Majad just wants to avoid it. He's going to put the edge up down, play it safe, get the drone work done. Triton playing a safe game.
Those air jumps, very important to be able to shore up your flank, especially in a map like this. That red staircase is such a lifeline for anyone downstairs, and well, Benji's going to be that player downstairs. C4 in the hands of that Malusi, so that's going to be an active threat to worry about. The only C4 actually being brought out with the defensive side of Ludens right now, so that might be a lifeline for plant denial, as we see lots of shields getting brought out, both in the hands of Alibi as well as that smoke of KK, so those are going to be a very key part of the strategy, and judging by the open format that they set up inside of Piano, it makes a lot of sense. We see in Pixel, the red silhouette lurking behind it, and tricky fight. I believe there's a Prisma there as well, so any miss or any shot able to give away your information. Jiobo is going to find that shield removed very quickly, but tucked deep inside a pixel. So has a fighting chance to cause some damage. Proctor down below lobs up an impact, but to no avail, only finding a small smidge of damage. And Jiobo is able to rotate back and get just into that hallway. And he has another position to fight with. Go inside a bathroom, and Proctor down below finds Sardine, but a rapid trade-off by Matums there. As now the Evil Eyes can do some work, as that's going to be Jiobo finding a second kill for their team. That MX4 Storm sings and Octane falls. Matums going trying to battle this vertical position, but that's a nightmare, and that C4 toss up to no avail. So it looks like Lockdown Luton's in a great bit of control as Benji finds Majere. It's a 4 versus 2, but Replay is going to have other ideas. Finds Jiobo and gives his team a lifeline while finding some damage taken to himself.
Yes, but the big problem here now is that these attackers, they're isolated. There's no refrag potential. Ludens, they play together. You find one kill, suddenly you're starting to collapse onto the other. But Matums, over on New Balk, Replay over towards that pixel position. There's something here for Triton. Like you said, a lifeline. It's there. It's a very difficult chance. A very unlikely possibility. But it is there. They have moved together and still have to deal with these Maestro Evil Eyes if they want to get a plan down. But they're still dealing with a the very early level of defense that Ludens want to incorporate. KK will put out one of those smoke canisters. Replay will find a kill onto Gady. Benji with a refrag. Finding that Replay. Suddenly, Matums, you have to go for a push. It's close. It's possible. He's going to vault in, but he's going to fall. And Ludens take that first offensive round.
That was an absolutely brilliant start to the defensive side by Ludens, and continuing to show exactly how good they are. And one thing, I know I said it before, I'm going to probably repeat it after this point, but this is a midfield team putting up an absolute show against the leaders, and this just shows how tightly compact all these teams are in Badass University All-Stars. Everyone is capable of toppling the Giants, and right now Ludens are looking in control of this matchup. Again, don't want to sound like I'm booking this as a victory already. Triton are on top for a reason, but Ludens have looked super, super strong in coming into this. I was expecting Triton to have control over this, but I've been proven wrong, and Ludens, if they can continue this momentum, continue applying this pressure, they might find themselves grabbing a very, very strong victory.
Well, it would be, and I know you hate being called that, but I'm going to call you that anyway.
I despise you.
You love to see it. You know the image I made. Well, the big thing for me is Ludens is actually, I think it's quite safe to say, they're the team that's been together the longest in the entire standings so far, because they played since the very start of this league itself. In doing so, they have that coordination. They have strats together that date back to before the 22nd meta. That's a huge position to be in. You have a lot of experience working together. They even did ECS calls very recently on the weekend. You know, they've been enjoying themselves. They've been working together, playing together, preparing themselves. But something else that I do want to bring up, and I know you know about it, but Triton, they had a fun run in the Yukon 2 calls. Actually, they didn't mean to actually qualify, but they just wanted some scrims. So they've not been caught lacking either. Big thing for this defense, though. The bottom floor. The Kate is obviously on the board. I want to see Triton go for top floor roam clear. If you can isolate the Ludens players that have been causing a lot of issues, like Benji, like Gady, and KK, well, that's just a great position to be in. You take out these two roamers, you suddenly have the vertical play. You've got Book, you've got Sledge. Well, that's the direction I expect them to take. In doing so, you just overpower them with the player count. That's the way I want to see it go. But the question is, will it play out like that? Seeing the roamers, only one in cocktail, and I think we've got one over towards that killer's area just to support Michelle. Will open up the piano hatch, then you can drop down, start getting to work very quickly as soon as you know the top floor's clear and that the bottom drops. Wow, a lot of face checking comes out. Benji's able to find one kill, but Octagon's quick on the refrag, and suddenly you've lost the Buck. But well, that's why you bring the Sledge as well with it.
I'm very much intrigued about the decision to have no drone leading that charge. Yes, they were able to get that trade. Well, it was 1 for 1, well done and all that, but you could have completely avoided that death if you just sent a drone forward. You know, the Buck could have gone on that drone. Octagon could have led the charge, being that entry kind of role, and they wouldn't have had that man count, kind of the 4v4 in the situation now. So an interesting choice, ace peak, but again, it's not going to be too much of a punch. They have the kind of Ulterior, they have the fallback, they have the slight verticality, so we're going to start doing that now. And Ludens have opted for a Falls strategy. They kind of bunkered themselves in, and with this level of verticality, that might be dangerous. The C4 tossed up, but everyone was able to vacate the area. No damage done, so that's going to be a bit of utility checked off the board, and that was going to be the only one left in back pocket. No one missed one as well, so as Kaid still has one potential to lob up a Nokia brick from hell and try and find some damage from below. A minute left to make. They were quite. The hatch and freezer's being reinforced, but Maidens on the Habana has a great opportunity to just open that up and start applying some pressure. Sardine with that L85 finds one of the Geobo, and that's going to be your Kaid off the board. The only sole remaining C4 no longer a factor in this round. And well, Ludens, their strategy was to bunker up on site, and they're finding it to be a very claustrophobic experience now because there's not many safe positions to hold yourself in. And with 35 seconds left to go, this execution is coming imminently as grenades getting tossed out as Gady looks to try and take the fight against anyone dropping in the freezer hatch. Drones sent in to relay that information. Concussions lobbed in as well. The first drop begins, and will Gady be able to read into this one? Spots the vault and finds one on the replay. Can they continue this momentum as Octagon's rotated out to the other side? Finds that kill on the Gady and gives Lockdown Ludens another headache to worry about. A 3 versus 2, but Proctor, a great shot, taps away with the MP5, finds the head of Octagon. Matem's going to try and get this plant down, but the crossfire's there. Sardine in a great position, but no! It's going to get shut down left in DBNO. It's a 1 versus 1. It's a post-plant situation now as Matem's in a great position, deep inside of Freezer, has to hold on, a great weapon to brawl with, but Proctor denies that information available from the down player, and the impact lands so close as well. Oh, Habana 1 HP, and shut down by the MP5K. Proctor stays cool, calm, and collected, ice in his veins, and he closes out the round for Lockdown Ludens.
The game sense coming out from Proctor there, just saying, okay, I found the 1 kill onto this player right where that bomb is. You've shut down the potential of the plant, you waste time. Suddenly, the attackers, they're feeling a lot of pressure, they're wanting to get the plant down, they have to. Most importantly, Sardine will get knocked down in that refrag when you're looking at KK just pushing in randomly. Look at that shot, right? You find that player, you start moving in, you take away Sardine, you've got the impact, you know, well, I have all this map control, where are they? Chances are in a post plant, they're not going for the vertical play. They're just going to be holding that freezer and ready to swing, ready to get aggressive. That's what Triton want to do. They don't want to put in too much thought about it. That was a huge performance from him to find that kill. Big thing for me as well was that droning, like you said. Majer didn't have to die. Because you drone in, Octagon takes a gunfight, Octagon wins. Suddenly, your vertical play, where we saw Sardine take a lot of damage, it fell down to the sledge, and that's why. He has to get up close and personal. He has to expose himself. As soon as you hear a sledgehammer, and you have a gun with an angle grip, you can start getting a kill very, very quickly. That's why Sardine took a lot of damage, whereas Majer had the opportunity to do it very early on, to get the vertical play, to get things done. Ludens, though, is almost a different team to what we saw in the first couple of rounds. They are dominating, they are getting their gunfights, they are compounding upon it, and when it comes down to these clutch situations, Ludens just don't miss at this point. You're looking at KK, you're looking at Proctor, you're looking at Benji, and they're just not giving Triton anything to work with. So coming to Reading Dining, I'm looking forward to it because they hold that top four. Then they drop down to Reading. This was what we saw them pick up their first round with it, and I'm expecting them to put us to match point on here, to be honest.
I think so as well. Lockdown Ludens seemingly have come alive in the second half of this matchup. They're really finding their footing and applying a great deal of pressure to Triton. You know, from bell to bell, they've looked incredibly strong, and while Octagon's already finding some damage taken, the tip of the spear is somewhat blunted without any initial engagement, and that's not going to be a great start to this one. The great entryway, though, the Bucks going to give an option in the side of piano already, not having to waste any time with that. But that drone sent out the information relayed, and they know they're in store for a bit of a slogfest to get control of Cocktail. They know how important this is, and it's going to be an absolute utility drain to be able to try and gain that control. A drone sent on in, and well, that's going to be relaying information. You know the freezer is going to be reinforced on this side. You know exactly what you're in store for. This is going to be a very tricky fight nonetheless. Major is going to be inside of bathroom now, has that rotatability, that flexibility that Skeleton Key provides, can now go deep in the freezer if the opportunity is there and wanted, and well, they'll take that moment, but oh, it's not going to last long. No, it isn't, as Proctor's going to be a sentinel holding on the bar. He's going to be able to shut down Major. Finally, that opening kill from the Ludens, and well, this will become a war upstairs as Gady gets one of their own. Sardine falls, And already it looks like the defensive side can lock this round out just by holding upstairs. Octagon finds more damage received, left on around 5 HP. This is not going to be a pleasant fight for anyone involved. The shot just going to miss. Replay looks to get aggressive in a great advanced position, but couldn't find enough damage to down or kill. Proctor gets aggressive and is going to get slapped down with some damage to his shoulder. But right now, all Ludens have to do is hold tight and burn away this time.
Yeah, now what you see here, Proctor's got a perfect position. It could win out a round if he stays alive. Octagon with the TK though, and the prone from Proctor. He's gonna find the kill. Suddenly Matems, he's all on his own. He has top 4 control and a minute to work with, but does he have the gun scale? Benji will shut him down, and the big thing I want to talk about, because I was watching it happen and I was saying how is this just happening? You saw Benji with that position over by Timber, he can get aggressive on that white stairs, and I'll tell you exactly why. With Proctor holding that angle from Cocktail to Freezer, you can be very comfortable. You are dominating that line of sight. Now, granted, we saw Replay just crouch walking. Yeah, sure, that's huge. However, Proctor, you have to go into the line of sight of Proctor, who's also holding Freezer. You cut a line across a lot of map control that needs to be taken by Triton. In doing so, you do a lot of damage. You find a kill onto Majette. You find a kill onto Replay. You find your team the win just with Benji in that Timber. He gets aggressive as well. You find a kill onto Octagon. Realistically, that was a horrible position to be in for the side of Triton. Ludens, they played it perfectly. They bounced off each other very, very well. And they knew exactly what each position was meant to achieve and what was meant to happen because of it. Now, Whippet, match point, they're going to be back onto that top floor. They have struggled to really show any sign of weakness on their defensive side. A 3-3 split and 3 rounds immediately into the second half. Ludens, they're looking to shut things down. Say, Triton, no, we're coming for you. We're going to put yourselves in this second place spot and hope that Chimp Hunters don't win the game. Right now, you've got to peg them for being able to close everything out. They've just been stronger.
I'm looking at this and trying to see... Okay. Did you hear the character mod taking damage there with the Bailiff, or was that just me?
I'm writing notes. I don't think I paid attention, dude.
So
I'll say that I heard it as well.
Hey. Has agreed. I'm not crazy. He also heard someone taking damage with that Bailiff shot.
I was about to say, I'll agree so that you don't sound crazy, mate.
Exactly. Thank you. I mean, looking at the setup from Lockdown Ludens, they've got so many more open positions. They've got so many more angles to fight with. It's just going to provide a very difficult puzzle to solve from Team Triton. And well, they haven't solved it yet. Will they be able to crack this defense now when their backs are against the wall? Because Ludens have that magical advantage of being on match point. All they must do is claim one more round, and they're going to be able to call this a victory and be able to become the victors of this, what seemingly is a Season 1 grudge match. So can they close this one out here?
If they do, I'm going to love it. Because this shows that we have a huge level of competition so far. Chimp Hunters will be knocked off of that second spot, but will have the opportunity to reclaim it. But right now, that doesn't really matter. Triton, they are currently the strongest team so far. Ludens very much wanting to usurp that and make it known. Mid-table can perform as well. We're seeing a lot of potential coming up from Triton in this attack. They have shop control, they're getting rid of a lot of the utility, but this bathroom's still there with Giobu. They still have Proctor down below. This is something Triton should be aware of. They should be ready to deal with the vertical play, but right now, they're not really pushing in. Half the round is gone, and a Ludens player has just played safe. Not a single one has died, and Triton are still outside. Very, very little map control so far. That position that Replay is looking at right now, that's going to slow things down even further, especially when Proctor's down below. Octagon will be able to find the kill onto Giobo, and doing so will give Triton a little bit of an insight into this attack. But the big thing is, time being the 6th defender, well now it might as well be a 5 versus 5. A minute for an execute. A minute to save things off, stave off what seems to be inevitable, and a bit of damage onto Proctor will start things off with that. Octagon takes some damage on his own. The smoke canisters, they're starting to go through the Maestro cameras. There should still be one on the board. And then the older. And you absolutely love that, don't you, Whip?
I certainly do. Will it get a chance to sing in this round? 81 rounds of Pert available if Gata so requires them. A great angle to work with as well with this opening, and those evil eyes can do so much work for information and even that potential plant denial. Sardine finding some damage, but right now it's a war of attrition. Death by 1,000 paper cuts is in store. Ash has got control of Bathroom now, but up close and personal, KK can brawl with that SMG-11 in combination with the shotgun. Our grenade, or smoke grenade tossed out, and that's going to be able to choke out this attempted plant. A smoke canister by Matum's there, as Major's going to be able to get one on the KK. Proctor fires back and gets the trade, but this plant's going to go down. Surely his replay is going to find himself dead. Gady fires away and gets one, and is going to deny that plant. Lockdown Ludens close out on time, and they close out round number 10 and Cafe with a victory.
Big thing for me there is, why is Triton stalling out? You are the league, currently top of the league. Whether that's going to stay, we don't know. Chimp Hunters only need to go to overtime and win it out to really just show that they can perform. Now the big thing for me, a minute and a half. And we barely saw anybody inside. Triton took so much time that we just saw Ludens. They didn't have any pressure until the last 30 seconds. And at that point, well, like you said, death by 1,000 paper cuts. You've got KK constantly just pumping out those smoke canisters. When they want to go for an execute, they've got Evil Eyes. They've got smoke canisters. All this utility is still there for them to deal with. And the big problem, well, they haven't dealt with any of it. They haven't done anything to really put themselves in a power position. Immediately going into the execute, they're grasping at straws. They don't have the map control. They don't have the power positions. You see KK, yeah, he'll get taken down eventually, but, well, then Gady just fills in that spot. He gets the older. He has that line of sight as well. He just gets control of Freezer. Starts opening things up. 2 players get down. Suddenly only 1 person left. The plant isn't going down. And, well, Lockdown Ludens will be able to beat out Team Triton on a 7-3. Not the scoreline we expected.
Certainly not, and considering that's going to send ripples through our entire league standings, you know, Triton were your leader, and that's going to put Chimp Hunters in a very good position to be able to leapfrog and take that lead. And, well, speaking of Chimp Hunters, the next match of the evening is they'll be facing off against Randy Ravens, but until then, you have to go and grab yourself some wonderful refreshments, your nondescript energy drinks to keep yourself nice and alert, as we'll be back in time for that matchup, and guarantee that one's going to be a very exciting one, considering top of the tables at stake for Chimp Hunters.
conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the red light, I could run through the fire. I could conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the red, I could, I could, I could, I could, I could run through the fire. Conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the red light, I could run through the fire. I could conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the red, I could, I could, I could, I could, I could run through the fire. Keep thinking that I could have done something, but now I'm left with an empty heart. No making amends, no waking up beside you and holding you till we forget it all. Oh, baby, how could I know there was no second chances? Like dominoes, my life got really scattered. You couldn't keep the door shut, and now the frostbite's creeping in. 'Cause I've been stone cold since you left me here. So come home, why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. Got me stone cold. No Wizard of Oz can undo what I've done. Completely out of luck this time. I'm stuck in reverse. I gotta get away now, but I can't seem to take the lead. Oh baby, how myself hoping that you'll find your way back to me. 'Cause I've been stone cold since you left me here. So come home, why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold.
Hello and welcome back to the Badass University All-Stars Playday 7. I'm McCready. Joining me is Whippet. My mic is actually working this time, so we're in for a real good start so far. Now, Whippet, we've just seen what could be the upset of the series so far. And I say so far because I'm going to tell you about our next matchup. We're going to be watching the Randy Ravens, who've struggled so far, going up against the Chimp Hunters, currently second place.
This is going to be a very interesting matchup, especially considering the landmark moment we just had where we saw Team Triton fall into lockdown. This is going to leave that first place in standings open for Chimp Hunters to grab today if they can get themselves a victory. And well, everything's so tightly compact at the top, just like we'll see now as we're going to be going to our standings. And well, after that defeat that Team Triton suffered at the hands of Lockdown Ludens, this gives Chimp Hunters an absolutely fantastic opportunity to try and claim that first place position. It does rely on Princesses not being able to win tomorrow if they can hold on to it by the end of the play day, but it will give them that moment where they could end today on that top spot. So that would be a very interesting format for them. And well, they are a strong side, but can they overcome Randy Ravens?
Well, that's something I really want to know. Randy Ravens is a team that I really do like, and yet again, while I have a stake in a lot of these teams, I know a lot of these players, and speaking of, let's get them up right now. Now, Randy Ravens have got a couple of players that I do quite like. You've got Restricted D or Trash Wife. I don't know what name he goes by. He's a good friend of mine, though. And then you've got Mally as well. He's somebody that I met through a mutual friend, and then turns out he was also in uni, and I kind of got them into the whole of them into Uni Siege. Well, you know, the scene's better off for it, so you love to see it. Definitely coming out from Exeter alongside Ainu, but huge potential on the side of Randy Ravens. Although, as you saw on the scoreboard, hasn't been realised that much. On the flip side, though, you've got the Chimp Hunters. You've got Where Is Mo, who asked me to describe him as the rock of his team. And that team will be Sandanos, Atlantic Angelo, formerly Angelo.ngg. And Bullet to just wrap things up around for about there. Chimp Hunters, they've been very good so far, very confident.
Certainly so, a very strong roster indeed, and a great position to leap. Okay.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, well,
oh, never mind. Let's keep going. Let's
go.
Yeah.
Really out here
Jump the gun a
scaring
bit there.
me.
Yeah, I'll do it again.
You scared me.
Chimp Hunters, Whippet. They're scary, aren't they?
They really are. This is such a strong roster, such strong potential, and well, when they have an opportunity to leapfrog into the lead like they do today, I'd imagine they're going to be playing at all cylinders. So, when we have this position now, we're just working through some stuff. I think Creedy's back to join me. Hello, Creedy.
Yeah, I am here, and I'm here to say, most importantly, that I am tired and might have made a mistake, but it's perfectly fine because this game, well, it's going to be a case of who makes the mistakes. Randy Ravens, they're going to be looking to catch off Chimp Hunters so far. Like I said, there's a lot of potential on that team. It's just finding it in there. You've got Mally and Trash Waifu, both Season 1 veterans. Mally actually won Season 1. He is one of the few defending champions that are still playing in Season 2 alongside Sturksy. So, I'm looking at an Angelo. Actually, yeah, you've got both Angelo and Mally. Both teams have a defending champion on here. So that's a big thing for me. But the map bans, we're going to see where these champions are going to duke it out, realistically. You know, they were once teammates, brothers, Whippet. But now, well, they're not. One of them's a bird, the other's a monkey.
Oh, an interesting comparison there. But our auto bans for these two teams this week are going to be Consulate and Clubhouse. So they're not going to be in play. They were played last week. So our first set of actual bans coming out is Randy Ravens taking Villa off the board. Coastline going to be the victim of the Chimp Hunters. And well, Coastline makes a lot of sense. Not a very popular team. Chalet by Randy Ravens. Cafe by Chimp Hunters. Leaving us with the one, the only, the overplayed Oregon. It's going to be an exciting matchup. Certainly, you see these teams duke it out. And well, it's a played out map. We've seen it 100 times, especially us as casters in our position. We have seen so many Oregon games. It is, yeah, it truly is. You know, it's a scary thing, but it's a map. It's well defined. It's very linear, but it's well played out, and it's gonna come down to who can be the strongest team, who can do the default strategies better. It's gonna be Okay, who can be the best of basic siege? And well, no more theory crafting from us because we're ready to hop on into the action. As here we go, our ban phase for map number 2 of the evening. It's going to be Randy Ravens versus Chimp Hunters, and we're on Oregon.
Can you theory craft in Oregon? That's my big question. But I'm very nice to hear that it's you've adopted my thing of who does the strats better. Because that is Oregon in its brass tanks alongside Clubhouse, when there's very little variation that will benefit your team. Like, unlike Clubhouse, with Oregon you have a number of approaches that can be used, but anything other than that, well, it's just not really going to work out. You can't brute force your way through, say, Attic, or just Master. You have to have that double-edged sword on almost all the sites. You can't try something just that little bit way out of there, because it's very weird. I mean, LATAM, they're known for not having the best strats and relying a lot more on the gunplay. That's where you see the difference. They'll take Big Tower, they'll take Freezer. It's come off over a little bit into EU and NA, but the question is it going to stick? You know, that's something I'd like to see, because I'd like to see how it plays out, but realistically, it relies on a lot of things, and when you look at the more strategic teams, that's not what you want to be doing. The bans, however, Thatcher, Maverick, and Cade, well, very stock standard. You take away the Maverick, you have to take away the Cade, otherwise you shoot yourself in the foot. The Cade, well, with those hatches, think about E-Box Whip It. That just becomes so much more powerful. It's almost impossible to get without taking control of blue and without just funneling in already. By that point, there's no real point in having it. You might as well go to main.
I couldn't agree more. There are so many positions like that on Oregon where you need to get control of it for that successful push, and I think that's what somewhat has lent it towards that linear style. Look at the bans we have, of course. Thatcher, not really much of a surprise there. I think I would have bet the house on that one going out of play. Maverick, again, makes lots of sense. You always see a hard breacher partnered. Miragon and Kaid, well, that's going to be null and void default, considering that Thatcher was no longer brought up. Angelo, though, picking up onto that Frost from the Wamai is probably one of the most interesting decisions I've seen in a long time, because you're giving up a catcher, you're giving up a very strong piece of utility, and considering that they don't have a Jaeger, that was their sole catcher, and I don't quite know if the trade-off of bringing in those frost mats is exactly ideal.
I don't know, I'm gonna give that credit. There's opportunities there, and when you also think about Big Window, which is where it's the fallback push for a lot of teams, when either Attic or Master will stall out, then maybe they'll look at Big Window. That's where a lot of teams want to go towards. Angelo also has the opportunity of that Attic drop down. You put a frost mat there. As long as you have somebody in dorms or on that Attic door putting pressure on attackers, they're forced to look at you. They either fall, take the gunfight with you and drop into the frost mat, or they shoot the frost mat, die to a bullet. Realistically, it's a very powerful position because it forces the attackers to take horrible gunfights that they just simply can't win. Regardless, if you fall in that frostbite, you're just going to die. A lot more around the Chimp on its defense I want to talk about. We're seeing a Rooney being brought in. A lot of teams, I've noticed, they like to reinforce that right side breach in Games Wall, mainly because, well, that's the one a lot of teams like to open up and go through. It also alphas the... It's not the catcher in the traditional sense as Jaeger or Wamai, but, well, it's more of a fly zapper. I think I'm going to start calling it that, because it just is, isn't it? You catch utility, and then for 30 seconds, you have to wait that little bit longer. And when you see where that's compounded right now, Attic Door and Trophy Door. You think about pushing, and the barbed wire, and the Banshee, and possibly a C4, well, that's just a horrible position to be in. Sundownos is going to make that a little bit worse for the attackers, finding the first kill in our game so far.
And, well, it's going to make it very rapid to find the second there, as Inube's going to get shut down very quickly by the H&K MP5 wielded by Sandaros. I'm just going to look for more. It's a very aggressive play from Valusi. Has that C4 potential as well, so keep your eye on that one. But already damage done, finding 2 attackers in the opening phases of this round. And, well, you put it very perfectly, describing those Aruni Gates as a fly zapper, because that's exactly what they're going to do now. Force the commitment of utility as they've got control of Attic. That's Trash Waifu on the hands of that Thermite, and, well, in a 5 versus 2. Frostmat's not going to be much to trouble them, but they're going to get themselves cornered here. Not a lot of options to push through, and dive bombing through that rotation inside of small dorms is often not exactly the most advised strategy. Trying to battle away here on that Thermite, not quite finding the head just quite yet. That shield is going to provide a very difficult puzzle. But Sandaros tries to get aggressive, but Comrade Barney shuts him down, slaps him back down to the tower stairs at F2, and, well, it's going to get 1 back at least, 2 versus 4 to ensue, but with so many guns trained on the very limited entryways available to Ravens, I imagine Chimp Hunters just going to sit pretty and play passively and close this round out.
Yes, now both the attackers are looking at that attic wall. You have just that Mo just waiting. You have the Aruni ready to swing, and that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to find one kill, but Comrade Bonnie's there. Finds a triple as well. Suddenly, things are looking good. They're not looking great, but in a 1 versus 2, it's much better than a 2 versus 5. You're able to find some kills. The question is, can you deliver any more? Barney will go for that reload. The Aruni gate will be popped up. Our feed will have some issues. But right now, it's all coming down to Comrade Barney wanting to get an ace in the first round. Has eyes over towards that rotate, which has been open, and now, well, it serves against them. But Comrade Barney will trigger that Banshee, will be picked up by Angelo, and Chimp Hunters take the first round. Huge effort from you, but the rest of the team, there was something missing.
Scary moments there, very much a kind of sweaty palm situation to find yourself in. Is that man advantage they had began to slip away from their fingertips, but ultimately they stayed calm, cool and collected and were able to close out and get themselves that very opening victory. Again, Chimp Hunters, you can just imagine that they want to have a dominant defensive split. Oregon, historically, and kind of current times, is still weighted towards that defensive side, and, well, the most attacker-favored site upstairs in dorms just went in favor of Chimp Hunters. So if they can get a flawless rotation here, find those 3 rounds in successive victory, they're going to set themselves up perfectly for the late game here in Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Comrade Barney not afraid to do what really has to be done, able to find a couple of kills. The pre-fire's coming out, because realistically, they know where you are after you find at least 1 kill. At this point, when you're outnumbered, pre-firing all the possible angles that could come from, well, something's going to stick. You know, you throw enough at a wall, something's going to land at some point. There's a very nice Maestro camera coming out from Angelo. I quite like that. Because it's very difficult. It's a hard target to miss. In a gunfight with somebody playing over that long, watching highway, you're trying to take out that utility. You have to wide swing to the angle on that. You have to hit the precise position with a Zephyr or an Ash Charge. And when you think about it, Banshees are in the game. Other Maestro cameras, other utility needs to be taken away. That Maestro cam, well, it shuts down a lot of potential. You also get a line of sight into the E-box. You can, you know, Angelo, I'm gonna say it, you're a big brain man. I do want to see him on the Maverick, though. I don't know if you've seen his recent Maverick video.
I have not. Is it a treat to behold?
I voiced it, actually. I did voice it. So I'll send it into the production chat after. But most importantly, well, I'm typically, when I go into the Maverick, I was trying out for a team, and they decided, screw it, we want to put you on maybe support or maybe a flex role in Maverick. There's one big problem. I got bored of Mav tricking, and I just started drawing smiley faces. He goes in a different direction, but I love just drawing smiley faces normal. It's so fun, especially in unranked. But what isn't fun right now is the aggression that we're seeing Mo feel in E-box. He has a couple of frost mats there to help out, and they're just looking to catch them off guard. Mo, though, will be taken down, and suddenly, well, that's the first kill, almost going in favor of the attackers. Chimp Hunters will be able to get the revive. The drone, though, will tell you if somebody crosses. Deathly is ready to pick up on it, ready to get the kill, but Bullet just waits with that Frost SMG you talked about last game.
Pops up and finds the head of Destiny, removing the Ash from the board. The shield is the only real cover Bullet's got remaining as we see elbows opened up wide, and with 1:50 left to go, that's a great successful push initially by Randy Ravens. All they must do now is find the information. They know exactly where Frost is, but can they act upon it? Can they find that kill? Bullet's running out of real estate to work with. Ainu finding some damage off of the screen, and while Bullet in such a tricky position, he's not going to be fine. Well, yes, he is actually! A 1-for-1, one-tap trade with Comrade Barney. Definitely is going to finally get that confirmed kill on the Mo as Atlantic gets one of his own onto Ainu, but the advantage now sits with Chimp Hunters in a 3 versus 2. They all they have to do is lock it down. Trash Waifu looks to get aggressive, but in E-box, so many open angles and getting torn apart. Gets one onto Atlantic. It's a 1 versus 2. Can the Habana try and channel their inner Shaiko to get this work done? A tricky fight to ensue. The diffuser's not held by the Hard Breacher either, so they're going to have to recover that. The lunchbox is so important to this win condition. They spot the head, but can't quite land the shots. 50 seconds remain. C4 tossed out, but to no avail. The camera are going to get felled as well, so this is a tricky position. But ho! Trash Waifu finds 1 kill onto that Malusi and brings it down to a 1 versus 1. Angelo has the evil eyes, can deny this plant from a distance, but more importantly, has 81 rounds of hurt. He can lob some 5.56 downrange at rapid succession and does so with the Alda and shuts down Trash Waifu and claims round number 2 for Chimp Hunters.
Trash Waifu, being my friend, I'm very upset to see that didn't work out, but Angelo very nicely played, realizing, We've got Maestro cameras. They haven't dealt with a lot of the utility that's on the board there. They got the walls open, they found kills. That's where the meat and bones lay for the Ravens in that round. You can see right now they're just getting their gunfights. They opened a couple of lines of sight, won a couple of kills, took away the Valk cams, but you still had a lot of information on where these players are. You know when they push in, you know when they start planting. So, cover an angle that you don't know about. That's where we saw Angelo move towards barrel doors. He finds a gunfight. A big thing in Ravens was that opening kill. They were able to find Mo very early on, and I'm very pleased about that. They got aggressive. They located weak points in the defense. That's where they started getting real heavy onto the attack. They took a lot of this utility. They took away the wall. They started to get ready to move in forward. We found quite a few kills. They started to lose out players, yes, but Trash Waifu, I'm gonna be honest, if there's somebody you want clutching, it's gonna be him. He can land some incredible shots, and we just saw that. Heading to Kitchen and Meeting, though. This is a site that I enjoy seeing, but don't enjoy playing. There's a simple reason. As a defender, you look at this and you say, okay, when you think about kitchen dining, you go towards Meeting, you get the floor open, you get the utility, you push in, or you go take control of kids, you start getting control of white, you make sure you always have showers, and then you plant for kitchen, you cover the cross, and, well, it's a post plan. You don't have that opportunity on this site. You can do it, but it doesn't work as well. What you want to do for kitchen meeting is, as an attacker, you take control of attic. You open it up, and you have to get the utility on both that meeting and attic wall. You take control of attic, you clear out the vertical play in kids, and then you start opening meeting wall itself. As soon as that happens, you should have enough players, and you get a crossfire. You cover split, you cover the doors, and you have flank watch in the form of a nomad, or in the form of a claymore. Then you go for a plant up against that stage, or a split if you have the player advantage, and then you hold the ankles. Right now, though, Ravens, they're going to waste no time with the first step. That's the roam clear.
Being very efficient on a site like this is very important for Ravens. They cannot take a single misstep, nor allow that clock to tick too far down towards that red zone. They have to clear quickly, but Atlantic's got other ideas. An opening kill on Linoob and downing deftly through the wall. The MPX sings its sweet song of death, and 2 casualties in Super Ravens. A C4 tossed out to confirm it. And a massive blow already. Attic's been opened up, but the damage could have already been done at the hands of Valkyrie.
Yeah, you look at this Sabana position right now. Now, Trash Waifu has a line of sight. They have an opportunity into attic, but they've lost the players. They've lost the hard bridge. The banners, suddenly, you need to keep those pallets. Those angles, they're not the best rotates in. Mally is going to start opening up more of the attic, but the gunfight is just not going to work out. Atlanta is going to find a 3rd kill. Now you're looking at Ravens. Well, they've got to get something huge. Mally needs to find his 1st kill. They will tag up Atlantic, but that's not going to happen. The C4 follows through. Santaunos will pick it up. Barney with a refrag will down Atlantic. Gets a diffuser, but look at that. The vertical play, it's going to make life hell. That's why you need that control. And then open up meeting. Comrade Barney, no choice. A 1 versus 5. You have to push down pillar. You have to go into swamp. You have to find a kill, but you can't. Mo is watching. Mo will find you there. Very strong defense from the Chimp Hunters. Very little given to the Randy Ravens.
Well, what an opening there, though. Atlantic on that Valkyrie doing so much damage in the very opening seconds of that round. And when your team lose players so early, take heavy casualties, it often spells disaster. And well, we witness it there. Chimp Hunters find themselves that successful, flawless rotation of sites. They make good of all 3 and now trying to repeat that process. They are looking strong here in Oregon. Can the Randy Ravens break this steadfast defense, or will they continue to hemorrhage away rounds? They must stop the bleeding quickly to have a chance in this matchup, as we see going upstairs once again to dorms.
I'm seeing Chimp Hunters really coming up strong. There are huge moments for Randy Ravens where they're able to get something, just a glimpse of freedom, but it's just not landing. You're looking at players like Angelo yet to die. You're looking at Atlantic ready to get aggression. You're looking at Sundownos in the 1st round, able to find the first 2 kills. We're seeing the Chimp Hunters living up to their name. They're playing it a bit more monkey, and it's paying off. Now, aggression is a very finicky thing in competitive Siege. If a team is structured and coordinated and at the top of their game on that day, you do not win. It's why you see more strategic teams at the top level win out. But if a team is lacking when it comes to this cohesion and they're trying to play strats but they're just being caught off guard, that's not a great time. That's when the aggression of Chimp Hunters really starts to shine. Atlantic will look for a very aggressive spawn peak, but there's nothing to be gained. So immediately I'm thinking, where's Sandaunos? What's he doing on a dome site? Last time we saw him in main lobby, he found a couple of kills. He found a key ton of the players needed to open things up, leaving it in 3 versus 5 immediately. It looks like a big tower take. Very, very predominantly, and Sandaunos is right into this. He's getting aggressive on the stairs. He has the C4 ready. He can find the kill onto Trash Waifu, who kind of predicts it and says, right, I'm just going to back up. We have the presence. We clear it out. He has to go down the stairs now that the swamp door's being opened up, and suddenly you have tower control. But what are you going to do with it? I don't think we've seen Randy Ravens really get much further than this point before.
Well, we've seen them be able to at least get control of Attic via that Harbage potential, but with 2 potential roamers still to worry about, and well, Mo, without Vulcan Shield there for cover and the Roni ready to brawl, he's not going to be going quietly into this night as well. We see the guy of Angelo is now moved instead of walking, and this doesn't seem to get read into at all. He's in a great position to capitalize and does so perfectly. An opportunistic moment there by Goyo, and gets the Vector to sing as Ace goes to an early grave in this round, drops that diffuser, and well, Sophia caught napping! Oh no! You cannot let that happen! And they find themselves 2 players down early in a round yet again. Can the Ravens claw this one back? All hoarded in deep towards Attic and Tower. This is looking to be a sketchy round already.
Yeah, now the big thing that they need to do is get control of Attic. They need to open the Attic wall. They need to shut down the movement that Angelo has right now. That's what's going to end things out. Deathly's looking for a kill. You have that rotate to worry about, but you need more angles. You need to be able to see something. Mo is going to get aggressive. Angelo sits on the defensive side until Barney says hello. He's able to find a kill. 2 versus 4, though. They're going to open up the Attic wall. Barney has to pre-fight. There's nothing else to do. There's a lot of angles to cover, and now you've just added 1 to it. You're looking for the kill. You're able to tag up Sandaunos, but Mo's able to find Comrade Barney. Trash Waifu gets pushed and gets taken down, and Chimp Hunters, we've yet to see any real potential being found from them. They're getting positions, they're getting some control, and they have players that should be able to win, but it's just not sticking with it.
Nothing they do, nothing they can seemingly find themselves, or any position they find themselves in, has worked out for them. They're being met and fought on their entries, and every time they're falling victim to the aggression of Chimp Hunters. And well, whether it's motivation to claim top spot in our standings, or just the sheer class of this team, they are firing on all cylinders and absolutely putting the fight to Randy Ravens. And they found 4 consecutive rounds. Can they find a 5th here and even more assert their dominance? We're going to see a 6-pick away from that Ace onto Blitz. Will he be able to channel his inner mint and make something work on that? An unorthodox pick, but going for those unorthodox picks could often give you a chance, perhaps. Something that might be unreadable or tricky to counter or tricky to predict. But Randy Ravens need something. They need a catalyst. They need someone to stand up and claim this round back for them. Otherwise, well, they might be already drowning in very deep water.
Yeah, like, you look at the scoreline right now. This side, this half, it's pretty much already over. And Chimp Hunters can comfortably say they pretty much won it. And, well, Mally, you look at those stats, they're not looking great at the moment. He's a good friend of mine, but unfortunately, I have to be honest. There's not much performance coming out on the Ace. So you're thinking, okay, well, nothing's happening with the Ace. You're not serving your team very well. Maybe try something new. Try and do something that, well, they're not expecting, like you said, because, well, nothing else seems to be working at the moment. The Renegades will go onto both of those elbow walls, and in doing so will make it just a little bit harder for the attackers to get through, because not only does it drain utility, but as well as the actual breach itself, it's such a big announcement that somebody's coming in Atlantic. Well, he's coming as well. He finds 1 kill. Mally gets the down and gets the first kill. The C4 doesn't get flashed. It detonates. And Sandaunos is looking for another. He will get down, but Comrade Barney there yet again to pick up the pieces. And suddenly a 3 versus 3. Very aggressive push. But is there anything more to be gained from this? Randy Ravens, what have you lost? An Ash and a shield. Now, the shield isn't that much of a loss, but the utility, the drones in pocket, the same thing with Ainu. Both of these players have struggled to frag, and that, I think, is a distraction for the Ravens pushing down Laundry. 3 of them trying to make something happen.
That was an absolute bloodbath early in this round, and that's seemingly going to be the trend continuing in this matchup. There's always engagements earlier. A grenade tossed out to Angelo, finding himself taking roughly around 30 HP, but doesn't care. He gives the Alda a chance to sing, and he's going to find one, but traded off instantly by Deathly. A great moment there, but can they capitalize? Deathly gets aggressive and finds Mo. He might give his team an opportunity, a lifeline here in a 1 versus 1. Bullet, though, he might know the positions, got a good position to hold on to now, but so much time remains. Comrade Bunny could use himself as Comrade Barney could use himself as an active drone, perhaps crawl for him some information, but definitely looks like he's going to try and take this fight. He must have a rough idea, some guesstimate of where this mute could be, but no, he's going to try and get this revive and get it bound down to an official 2 versus 1. All he must do now is hold the crossfire, but Bullet, no! He goes for the C4 and slapped down as Randy Ravens claim their very first round, and well, unfortunate timing from the mute to try for that utility kill. He could have just pulled out his rifle and found success. Well, that is Ravens getting their very first round here on Oregon.
I knew. What a play. What a performance there. Look at this, right. You see the first couple of kills going down. Atlantic, Santaunos, they're taken away immediately, and in doing so, well, that just offers so much opportunity. You've taken away 2 of these aggressive players who are able to shut things down. Now, Barney going down there to Mo. That's huge. You see Mo just holding that position, like you said, will be taken down by Deathly. Sorry, not I knew. I am confused. I'm tired, but still. Deathly. Being able to find that position, you find that 1 kill, you go and get Comrade Barney. That is the player of anyone that you want on the board at the moment. Comrade Barney, you need them alive. You revive that player, and that's the right decision in my opinion. Not only is it 2 versus 1, but the information on where you were was given from the Evil Eyes, like we talked about. We saw just Bullet didn't have to move at all. He could have held that position by that laundry rotate, and in doing so, could have just said, alright, you come to me. In my opinion, he should have gone right where Angelo is now. You hold the angle. There's sight lines there. You know the revive is coming, so deal with it. Instead, you got aggressive. You went for the C4. You've only lost 1 round, but Randy Ravens, that might just be that little bit of motivation you need just before the side swap. You're going to have to go again, though, and I don't think the rush is really going to work out. You might find 1 kill, but maybe not 2.
Oh man, this game is providing so many high-octane, aggressive moments from both these teams, and well, I'm pretty safe to say Chimp Hunters are in a comfortable position now. 3-round advantage, and we're still in the opening split, so they could grow that even more if they can get the split to a 5-1. They'll be sitting pretty on their offensive side, but Ravens there have a lifeline. They have an opportunity. They know they draw some blood from Chimp Hunters, but can they continue to build upon that? Sandaro's in a great position here to be able to capitalize on anyone who might walk in the stage. Seemingly that's going to be the plan. It's Atlantic now in kitchen. He might peek from checker and does so. Finds the kill. And that's going to be a great opening. Sandaros gets aggressive and deathly falls. A perfect collapse on the tower as 3 now fall. It's a 5 versus 2 and in around 10 seconds. The hopes and dreams of Ravens on this offensive split have seemingly fallen apart.
Yes, the momentum from that last round, well, it's just not there anymore. Cameron Barney could do some damage to feet. We'll be able to find a kill at the moment. You need to find 4 more players. 2 minutes, 2 players, it's not that impossible, but it's very improbable, especially with Chimp Hunters, the way they've been playing. You look at how this is now. Chimp Hunters, they collapse on each other. But Comrade Barney will be taken away. I need now, and has yet to find a kill. Stuck in this bunker, holding the angle, saying, well, I might as well just pad stats. Let's talk about what's wrong. I'm not winning this. Guys, they are playing their hearts out at the moment. They're finding opening kills. They're finding roaming performances that are just stepping up in a way we can't. Santino will be able to shoot a C4 out. Well, down Atlantic won't confirm the kill. And in doing so, we'll just sit here waiting. Atlantic on North says, well, no one's going to really pick him up. And, you know, I knew if he wants to find a kill, he will get bullet with a player down out of Atlantic. Well, maybe there's an opportunity. It's, like I said, it's not impossible, just improbable. The pre-fires will come out for the kill, while I will have his position given away. Wants to finish off this kill, will he? Nah, he's just going to play for the aggression, and he knows it's just going to be coming. Time is ticking down, though, so you need to start pushing very soon. A lot of soft wall, a lot of potential for wall banks going both ways. Einub takes some damage from the pixel, they know where he is, and now, well, he's going to move in. The Maestro camera spots him, the confirmed kill will come through, but will he be able to find 2 more? Doesn't look like it. He's just going to play time. He's going to wait, and you don't have much left. moving up. You know where that Maestro... You don't know where the Maestro's going to be, but the pre-fire gets it. It's a 1 versus 1. I knew he knows he can take this now with 20 seconds left. He gets it. He stands up, and he goes on his own 2 feet, saying, Creedy, you called out my KD. Now we're gaming. The attacking half is ours. 2-4, now on the defense.
Now that was gaming from Ainoob, finding every bit of strength left in him to clutch that round up for his team. Heroics from Randy Ravens, and well, it looked like it was going to be a catastrophe based on the opening round, but no, heart and determination from Randy Ravens to claw that back. And yes, the scoreline says 4-2, but there could be some momentum brewing on the side of Ravens.
Yes, just having 2 such high-impact clutches coming out on the attack. Now they're going on to the defense, the favored side. Chimp Hunters, they can't play the aggressive playstyle in the very same way. Every single attacker now has now got an objective that they can't just ignore. They have to play for that utility usage, the kill, the roam. Realistically, you can't just run around like we saw Sandanos and Bullet doing before, or Atlantic, sorry. You've got very specific jobs. You've got hard breach, soft destruction, map control to take. Ravens, now you're going on to the defense. The mental, it's going to be there. The energy in the team, I want to be in that call whip it right now. And they're going to the bottom floor. They're bringing the utility to slow them down. The Malusi, the Mute, the Jaeger, sorry. They're just looking to ruin the aggression of Chimp Hunters. And I think the Legion pick as well as Malusi, it just adds all to it. Definitely will get a Valkyrie cam in this blue barrels area. And in doing so, we'll get that little bit of information that you need to check for if you want to know that it's there.
Well, after a play like that, passion must be high from them, and can they capitalize upon it here in the defense? The side that's been waited to in the entire life of Oregon, can they make good of that advantage? But it looks like it's going to be a very aggressive play here by Chimp Hunters. All 5 bodies stacked up on Laundry. The Gemini goes on in, but a wise decision. They know they were going to be met by stern resistance, so they fall back, but Atlantic shuts down Ainoob, the hero from our previous round, early in the grave now. This might be a nasty start for Ravens. Can they bounce back and get that trade-off? Better late than never if they can get themselves back to a level playing field. Might still have a chance in this round.
Okay, Whip, looking at this, quick breakdown of what we saw. Aggression on main lobby. That's an angle I taught Mally. That desk is soft. You can find a kill. That's where he wants to do damage. A lot of utility committed to dealing with that area. I expect to see Chimp Hunters coming back to it alongside Freezer. You see Mo there, Sardanos and Freezer, and Comrade Barney pulling back. Comrade Barney can just play a quick game of whack-a-mole, as it's been known in the uni scene, and just sit behind that box. Mo will drop the utility down, but Mally sits on the angle. He holds it. He waits. The rest of Ravens, well, they're just bunching up together. They're playing for refresh. They know that this is going to be a split push. Sandanos is trying to get something onto that player of Laundry, but Mally, play it safe. Hold your angle. Do not break. You're able to find damage onto Mo. Just keep it going. Angelo's able to find Trash Waifu, and now Mally, find 1 kill onto Mo. Turn around immediately, start focusing, definitely find Soundanos. Angelo getting aggressive. There's one Mally who's looking for the kill, he gets it! Angelo will to Comrade Barney, though now it's a 2 versus 3 in favor of the attackers, but the Chimp Hunters, they are breaking out of this position. Atlantic finding Deathly, Mally all on his own. You found Mo, now you need to find 3 more. Probably going obsessed for a retake, that's not a bad idea. The question is, how do you want to play this? The smoke goes off. You expect, well, there might be someone there, but you don't expect the player on the chassis ready. He gets a C4. He goes out. The plant's going down. He does damage, but not enough. He has to deal with 2 1 HP players. He finds Atlantic. He looks for Angelo, and he gets it. Can he get Bullet as well? The SMG comes out, and it's not going to happen. Chimp Hunters getting a much needed round, and Randy Ravens, they may not be winning, but they're winning our hearts.
This is a bare-knuckle brawl of a game. Seemingly, the Ravens have found some energy, momentum, and they are taking the fight, the Chimp Hunters. I was not... My heart may have just failed on me if he was able to clutch out that round in a 1 versus 3, but absolutely supreme performance. Reading the player in Freezer, finding that kill, also important. but sadly not checking deep enough into that corner as Chimp Hunters find themselves winning their 5th round. And they're going to continue this momentum, but Kids Dorms we go to. Can the Ravens find their opening defensive victory here and begin to claw back this deficit? It looks like someone's lit a fire underneath them, so I imagine they're going to be battling for this tooth and nail.
Yeah, remember, I want to see more rounds coming out for Ravens. I'm a little bit biased towards them, and that's because of Mally. That's because of Trash Waifu. Mally and Ainu really stepping up when their team needed them most. Honestly, huge. I can't say any more about them. They performed so goddamn well at this point. Chimp Hunters, though, well, this is where they really need to start knuckling down. You need to get tight. You have allowed a clutch and an almost clutch at that point. Well, something's clearly going wrong. Is it the flank watch? Is it the angles? Is it the positioning? What is happening here, Chimp Hunters? The main thing I want to see from this attack of the Kid Storm is playing together and just waiting, expecting a little bit more aggression. That's where I was talking about the structured teams. They get aggression and they don't know how to deal with it. And that's what we see from Chimp Hunters. They're not really sure what to do with when the mute MP5 wants to suddenly push into Laundry. Chimp Hunters, expect the unexpected.
This game has went from what looked like it was going to be a dominant matchup from Chimp Hunters to all of a sudden a really interesting knife-edge moment, because it looks like Ravens, at a click of a finger, could find that extra gear to be able to turn this around. They look like they're just about to, or just able, or might be able to find some successive rounds and put some pressure on Chimp Hunters, who, if they get pushed to the raggedy edge, things could begin to fall apart now. The entryways begin towards a split push. It looks like a standard execution. Atlantic's X Kairos Pellet's going to be felted by that mute jammer that's going to persist for just a little bit longer. And those seconds that it will take to remove that jammer from play, well, that really benefits the Ravens.
Yeah, now you look at Ainu playing down below, looking for anyone trying to deal with this breach. Now that it will be open, Barney's playing that prone angle, looking to really catch someone hard. And with Ainu down below, well, you can catch someone trying to vault. So if Barney dies, Ainu takes a position, you shut down that angle. A very strong power position to have. The Chimp Hunters, you can tell something's rattled them. They're playing it a lot safer. They're holding a lot more angles because they know that Ravens, well, they've kind of just stepped up. Ainu will get a free fire looking for a kill. Will not be able to land it, but does get some damage. And he gets Angelo. Mally follows with Jono. With Atlantic, sorry, a bullet suddenly on this master bedroom balcony all alone. With the diffuser, like we saw Mally before. Santanos will finally find an answer with this vertical play, but is it enough? You've already lost a player and a lot of the wind in your sails, realistically. You see Atlantic right there in the dirt, alongside Angelo, two of the top fraggers right now. Mo's going to be picked off from the aggression of Deathly as well, and now you look at Bullet and Santanos. A minute left and a 2 versus 4.
That swing on the big window, disrespect by Deathly, finds that kill and gives his team a monumental advantage, a 4 versus 2, and we're in that sub-minute moment, make it a 4 versus 1. Comrade Barney takes the fight as Bullet falls, and it's gonna be him to find the last kill as Randy Ravens claim round number 8. And well, things just got real interesting. It looks like the Ravens have found their stride and got their momentum here on their defensive split of Oregon. Better late than never, but can Chimp Hunters do enough to eke themselves across this line and get to match point, or even close this out before Ravens really get motoring? This is what you love. Oregon, for all of its linearity, for all of its played outness, can deliver moments like this. Absolutely fantastic matchups, and these rounds, as they continue to play out, are only going to get more and more intense.
Yes, now, like I said, Ravens, the amount of potential there, I don't even think we peaked yet with it. I think that they could just keep going up and up and up. This is what I said. If they have potential, which they haven't found so far, this is it. They're bringing it. They're opening these gunfights. They're getting aggressive. Chimp Hunters don't have an answer. On their defense, they were dominant. They were taking gunfights. They were winning it. But Ravens, well, they just know how to play a game. They pick up their first offensive round, and now, well, their second offensive round, actually. No, it is the first. I'm a little bit confused. That's weird. But anyway, Ravens, they're back to the bottom floor. They are looking to really shut things down. Last time we were here, we saw Jono being able to nearly win it out. Or Mally, for those who don't know, able to nearly get that 1 versus 4. That's a huge position to be in. Chimp Hunters probably going to be rattled. taking that Kid Storm, well, now you have a statement of intent. We are going to win our rounds, and you are not going to make your way into any position you need. You're not going to make your way into the master bedroom or games. You're not going to go into attic, and certainly not going to get through big window. Right now, Ravens are looking confident in a way Chimp Hunters, they never did.
This is an absolute turn of events. You got to think about this. When we were seeing Chimp Hunters 4 rounds to nothing, they looked untouchable. They looked unbeatable. They looked like they were just exuding confidence and being supreme in every moment. And now, well, they're getting pushed to the edge, and definitely looks to show more of that hallmark aggression that he used in our previous round. He's going to wisely, though, make it a choice to retreat a little bit further back, keeping himself in the fight for just a little bit longer. I imagine this information game is going to be super important for holding on the blue bunker as the push begins to surmount. Bullet on that ace, likely to throw a Selma against this wall to create a line of sight, the pressure rebox, but no one extended inside of elbow. No commitment there at all, and that's going to give Ravens more opportunities, perhaps to get aggressive and pounce as some shots whiz through rebox wall there, but to no avail, finding no damage as of yet.
Yes, now that information staying alive longer and longer, well, that's just going to give you that, just a little bit more information that you need. A little bit more game sense and adjustment to your defensive lineup that you want. Atlantic will take some pre-fire out. Angelo, though, will open things up, finding a kill onto Trash Waifu. Pillars open up. Angelo's going to start moving through. The drones are there. Chimp Hunters starting to deal with the basics and do them properly. We are seeing the roam coming out from Ninoob, wanting to find a quick kill. Barney getting aggressive. Well, the shots needed, and Angelo's going to be able to win that gunfight. Ninoob with that refrag takes away the Habana, and E-Box suddenly just became a lot harder to deal with. Angelo finding a 3rd kill, but with Ninoob on this north stairs, this could be shut down, and it will. Mali will answer with another kill, putting us into a 2 versus 2. Ninoob finding a 3rd. Oh no, Sam Downos, what is happening? All on your own in the freezer, taking damage, not much to get a kill, but enough for a 2 versus 1. Gets the wallbang onto Mali, and now we're back in a 1 versus 1. Very low HP, Ninoob. You pre-fired this position onto Angelo before. Are you going to get pre-fired? This huge position now. You'll hear if they go pillar, and you'll be able to just split your angle over to E-Box. But no, you watch Lord Freezer, and you find the kill onto Sandownos. Ravens, what are you doing? I need some of that.
Another clutch from Ninoob, stepping up, take a bow. What a performance. And as I said before, this game has turned into an absolute brawl. Both teams somewhat throwing caution to the wind and getting aggressive. Ninoob in a great position to find that kill onto Angelo, and a perfect one there down in the bunker, and then calm, cool, and collected. Ice in his veins to close that one out to shut down the Ash. And now, Randy Ravens reduce the deficit to 1. Can they tie us up? 5 rounds apiece, moving to round number 10. Well, only time can tell as we go to kitchen and dining.
This is what Chimp Hunters need to desperately win. This is kitchen dining, the weakest of the 3 defensive lineups realistically. Now, if Chimp Hunters win this, match point, overtime guaranteed. You can still win it, you will lose some points, but at least you have that safety. You have that little bit of a buffer. If you lose it though, you've just lost a kitchen dining attack. Ravens, they've just equalized and they're going back to Kid Storms right away. They're not going to stick around on this side or give Kitchen Meeting a go. They want to win. There is, and I know this word is not often used in the Siege community, passion with it. There's passion behind them, fire in their loins. They want to get some wins, and they're going to make sure they do everything in their power. Players like Ninoob, Mali, Comrade Barney, just stepping up in ways unimaginable when we saw the first couple of rounds. What was it? It took about, I don't know, 4 rounds before we saw a couple of the players get their kills. It took Ninoob, what, the entirety of its attacking half to put a single kill on the board. But now, well, he's leading his team alongside Comrade Barney, a consistent performer. Randy Ravens, well, I pegged them to really even things up, but the Chimp Hunters, they still have the opportunity. They still have 1 round between them and match point, and this side, like I said, this is the one to win.
This is a very high pressure moment. Can Chimp Hunters retain their lead and get themselves a match point? Angelo looks to get aggressive, but no! Slapped down by Deathly, but a great trade by Atlantic there. Inoob taps away and gets Mo as well. Already we're seeing a hailstorm of bullets from both sides. They're keeping the momentum high. This is exactly what you love to see. Advantage sits with Randy Ravens in a 4 versus 3.
Yes, time is ticking to the 2-minute mark. You're seeing 3 kills on the board and a lot more to follow. Things are going to get aggressive. Inoob's going to walk in a classroom and not get shot, but he's going to go above. He's going to be able to catch Sandanos on that flank, and if he does, the vertical play is gone. The top floor controller is gone. It's a 2 versus 4. Inoob, you need to win this gunfight. If you win this, you win the round. You won't get the kill, but you tank them very, very low. Now Sandanos is forced onto the white stairs. He finds Comrade Barney, but Inoob's there with the flank. Now it's a 2 versus 3. Now there's an opportunity for Chimp Hunters, but they've got to go through. They haven't done any hard breach. It's all choke point after choke point. And while Ravens, they're just getting a little bit wiser. They know exactly where they're going to need to train their guns. Trash Waifu gets aggressive, gets a kill onto Atlantic. Now Bullet finds a refrag, but you still got to push in. Trash Waifu was there, but definitely gets the kill. Ravens even things up. Whip it. What?
Mission impossible accomplished right there. It looked like it would have been an absolute pipe dream to say they could level this matchup up. Well, but look where we are. Round number 10. They tied us up 5 rounds apiece. This is what you love to see. Passion coursing through their veins. Can they push us all the way? Can Randy Ravens find themselves on match point? Even do more damage than that? This is what you love to see. This is the pinnacle of Uni Siege. This is an absolute barn burner.
This, in the words of Delta Bacon, this is Rocket League. Whip it. But yes, I think it's a joke, yes, but it doesn't take away from what we're seeing. Randy Ravens, something else that he talks about is every single team can just step up in unimaginable ways, and well, simply put, in doing so, whip it. We're seeing the 6th place team, if I'm not mistaken, knocking out 3rd place. As it stands, neither team has made it to match point, and one of them certainly will after the end of this round. But now you're going on to Kids. Ravens, very comfortable on Kids' bedroom. They shut down a lot of the attackers. They've been great at isolating the attackers into 1 versus 1 engagements. Most importantly, Inoob. In both of those huge plays that they've had, it's just been a case of taking one-on-ones. That was absolutely huge, and in doing so, well, suddenly Chimp Hunters, their coordination, maybe it's not there. They're going for gunfights that they don't have much opportunity to refrag from. The positioning and coordination from Ravens, though, it's beautiful. You're looking at Inoob going over towards dealing with Sandanos on the top floor. He tags him up, Sandanos, where do you go? You have to go white stairs, or you take the gunfight with Inoob. You don't know if white stairs is cleared, so you chance it, you push through, but you die. Now, Ravens, what can you do? Chimp Hunters, what have you got for me?
Chimp Hunters need to find something. They need to be able to kick themselves into overdrive, throw on a pair of ultra softs and vomit down the straights, because they need something right now to find their footing again. They're seemingly being rocked and rattled by Randy Ravens, and their approach right now looking very one-dimensional. And I think definitely you can see the cogs turning in his brain. He wants to get aggressive. He wants to swing this position, but as of right now, biding his time, being patient and waiting, just like Inoob, down inside of Garage, just holding his ground, waiting for a moment to strike. The Selma is opening up the wall inside of Master Bedroom, giving an opening for the offensive side to use. This is a very critical moment, tentative hands from all players around, because whoever claims victory here gets themselves that match point advantage.
Yes, now you look at it and you simply say Ravens. They're definitely comfortable. The momentum is right behind them. Every opportunity, well, it's going to be for them. Now, definitely holding this angle, a great position to be in. You take control of that drone. And, well, suddenly Sophia has to face check it. Will be taken down by Deathly. Comrade Barney's quick to answer with another kill, but Mo, with the refrag, takes away Trash Waifu. Mally, Well, he just swings it, he gets a trade anyway. Every player so far is landing their shots. Atlantic, the latest player to do so, but a 3 versus 2. And you're very much split apart. Sadanos looking to go through trophy. Well, you have to get diffuser, you have to get aggressive, and you have to play your part perfectly. But it's Comrade who's going to get an aggression. He finds one, but he doesn't find the kill. Atlantic will revive a 2 versus 2 with a minute left. Whip it.
We have 55 seconds and a brawl to ensue. A tag team matchup for the ages now. 2 versus 2. This could be a monumental moment for Ravens if they can close this out. All they must do is burn down that timer and hold the crossfire. And this is going to be critical for both teams. 35 remains. Atlantic checking deep down in towards Attic, looking for a single displaced pixel he can shoot at, but no one's going to give him that opportunity. A great crossfire established. Yellow pings relaying critical information. We hit 20 seconds now, and Ash charge deployed. Flashbangs blocked in. Ainu finds the shots. Yes, he does. It's now a 2 versus 1. Atlantic with 12 seconds to work with. Surely it's going to be insurmountable, and yes, it is. Randy Ravens from rags to riches on match point here on Oregon.
1 round away from closing it out. 1 round away from shutting down third place Whip It. Now you look at Mally. That positioning, this is where Ravens, they've stifled the aggression of Chimp Hunters with that side switch with Ainu's first clutch. And in doing so, well, simply put, you're seeing a team that just isn't as aggressive. And that was their mainstay. That was their big fighting point. Now you're just looking at Mally sitting in a rotate and saying, okay, I'm going to cover 2 angles. I'm going to cover the angle that we saw Atlantic die to, and also Trophy Door. You can get aggressive if they push in and go towards games. You also have Ainu. Perfect crossfires coming out from those 2 players. Beautiful coordination. And, well, 1 round away from match point. Laundry room, supply room. The bottom floor, the round where we saw Ravens win first, and their second round, that's where it was. That's where the magic happened, and most importantly, that's where they're going to want to close it out. They have the same lineup. They have all the pieces they had before. Can they land it? They've switched around a few of the players, but I don't really think there's anything too drastic on who's on what operators are being brought. Chimp Hunters, what's gone wrong here, buddy? You've been struggling since 5-2, I believe the scoreline was. Whip it.
My brain is fried. This game has absolutely mesmerized me. I am so impressed by this performance from Randy Ravens. The fact that they had the determination to claw back, to be able to fight from 4-0 down. Now they sit on match point. They can close this matchup out right here, right now. And are we in store for yet another upset result?
I honestly, I want to see it. The redemption arc is beautiful. Randy Ravens only winning 1 game so far, looking to just compound that and make it 2. And in what a way. Chimp Hunters, well, a lot of teams are going to be looking at this and saying, well, are they that good? You know, Randy Ravens, they came from such a low point and just stopped them. Now the camera will be given away, definitely. You're not going to get away with that free information again. But that wasn't what won the round last time. The drones will go through and Angelo will have the utility ready to burn out elbow. But yet again, as I don't think we've actually seen once on Oregon so far, it's not an elbow hold. Definitely, he's holding some bullet holes. He's looking for a kill. He spots the cross, but he doesn't deal with Angelo. He doesn't find the kill. Now the drones will be able to give away the information of the Pillars player. Do they know about Trash Watch? Yeah, they probably do. I move on those stairs, looking to start off with a kill.
Ainu in a great position to cause some chaos here, but he's going to be retreating down. The information relayed by those prisoners gets aggressive, but no! Mo slaps him down and gives his team an early advantage. Could we be seeing this going all the way? Definitely fires back. There's the trade. 4 versus 4 ensues. Great moment of a catalyst there, but Comrade Barney, look at this, upstairs and undetected. If he gets an opportunity to strike, he can do cataclysmic amounts of damage to the offensive side of Chimp Hunters. And will they read into this? His bullet shuts down Trash Wiper, who looked to get aggressive by Pillar. Comrade Barney, you needed the move now. You certainly have to get your mojo going, but that's going to be definitely getting one comrade caught up in a tricky engagement. But a 3 versus 3 ensues. Make that a 2 versus 3 as comrade Barney falls. Definitely trades it off. Looks for a second, but cannot find it. It's all down to Miley in a 1 versus 2. A C4 tossed out, but finds the kill. Atlantic now. Can he do the recovery? Can he get his team clawed back to a level playing field? Or will Randy Ravens close this round out right here, right now?
Let's go!
Yes, they will!
Mally, from zero to hero, I'm gonna say it, clutching things out. And about Randy Ravens, well, now they're the Kingslayer, taking out Chimp Hunters, beating anyone who could realistically try to shut them down. The aggression, it was stifled. It was met by Barney and Einub and Deathly, and they just found kill after kill. They got inside the heads of the players on Chimp Hunters, and they just shut them down. You look at the side switch, okay? Look at how the flip side went. 2 players at like the last round of their defensive side, when you saw Chimp Hunters, 2 players on the side of Randy Ravens had 0 kills. By the end of a couple of rounds, well, one of those players was on 9 kills, the other one was on 6. Huge from Randy Ravens, huge stamina, huge ability to bring it back. That's the potential I talked about. They need to keep this energy going through the league.
What a result. What a shockwave that will send to every team watching. They were 4 rounds down. They looked dead in the water. They looked like they were going to get smothered and drowned, but no! They fought back through grit and determination, and they came alive. They were dominant on their defensive split, and they find themselves with that 7-5 victory. One of the most well-deserved victories I have seen in this season so far. Everyone around the Ravens, take a bow. From clutches from Ainu, overall stellar performance from them on that defensive bracket. They stood up tall when their team needed it the most, and, well, a massive 3 points for them.
Yes, and like you said, I was going to touch upon that. No overtime means 3 points, propelling them a very, very nice amount up through that leaderboard. We'll take a look at it before our next game. But before we get into that Whippet, I think we both need a breather. A lot of emotions just went into that game because, well, it demanded it. The passion, the emotion, the attention, it commanded a lot of things. But most importantly, it commanded Randy Ravens to step up and win the game. We are going to be taking a short break before we look towards our 3rd and final match of the evening. But, well, let's take a nice, well-deserved break. Welcome to Badass Upset All-Stars here. Whip it. Oh my lord, what a game did we just witness between Randy Ravens and Chimp Hunters. Third in the table, going up against a mid-table team and just stalling out completely. What the hell happened?
Well, honestly, it's hard to judge what exactly just happened. What we saw was Randy Raven summoning some form of extra power. What
The
can we call
eagle.
this?
There you go.
What can we call this siege power that some teams possess in the UK? Could it be passion?
Sorry, wait. It's the team version, the player version of the caster curse. If you're meant to win, well, you're screwed at that point because you've already lost. But teams, speaking of teams that have not necessarily been winning, we're going to be looking towards our third and final game of the evening. Froggers going up against the Minutemen. Both teams really struggling so far as we do look towards the standings, or the rosters actually, to see which players are exactly on this team. So, you take a look at the rosters. The Froggers, they've got Reverse, Flo, Volcanoid, Yukio, and Murph. You look at them, honestly, that's a comfortable team. They look like they should be doing a lot better than they are, but just the quality of teams that we've seen so far, they are very, very high. Minutemen on the flip side, Age of Soul, Dumfries, Kieran, NSJ Source, and Rua, they're a team that is essentially almost all Caledonian chargers, Age of Soul being the only exception to that case at the moment. They currently, Whip it, very painfully only have 5 rounds, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
A round differential of -16.
It's not been exactly an ideal start to the season for the Minutemen, but if they were able to find the victory here, find some momentum, find some energy in this matchup versus Froggers, there's a chance that they could use that as a foundation, a building block to be able to stage a late surge up the standings. So it's not over for them yet in terms of being able to try and make that top 4 position, but there needs to be a change. They need to make something happen now. And while have a kind of a wider picture of how our standings look, here they were. Now, these are our wonderful rosters again. All great players getting another look at it, but these standings coming in. Now, these, of course, were done, I believe, at the start of the play. They haven't been updated yet, so there we are. Minutemen at the bottom in 10th. As we mentioned, that -16 round advantage. They need to be able to find some momentum here. Claw back that round differential, maybe even get a victory. And well, Froggers up in 8th. It's going to be a battle on the lower end of the table, but still not. That doesn't relegate it down to not being action-packed. And I certainly think because there's so much on the line for Minutemen, they're fighting with their backs against the wall from the get-go. We might see them pull out some interesting strategies and come out out of the gates absolutely swinging.
Yeah, now I look at the Froggers. They currently have 3 points but 0 wins. You might be questioning, what's happening? Well, simply put, they've had overtime in all 3 games. So they're looking at it very, very comfortable to try and at least give themselves a good showing. Whereas the Minutemen, they've struggled to push it to overtime. And like you said, 5 rounds total. And I believe one of them was due to a skin. Yeah, like you said, there is a possibility of pushing yourself up higher in the leaderboard. Looking to contest for some of that 3rd or 5th spot places, maybe even 3rd or 2nd. Well, that needs to really happen now. You really need to see a shift in the Minutemen that, well, clearly hasn't been there before. And I mean, we're being very critical, we're being very brutal, but what else is there to say, really? You're looking at a team that's been struggling to perform completely, only 5 rounds. Like, I can't stress that enough. 5 rounds.
So
that is the exact total that Chimp Hunters just got.
That is true, and again, it's hard to try and convey this. This is where they need to step up. They need to make a move and push on forward now. But to look at the matchup we have ahead of us, we can go and see our map videos. And where will we be able to go for this one. I mean, we've seen a lot of interesting maps so far. So our auto bans for this evening, this final matchup of the evening, we're going to be Consulate and Villa. They're no longer in the fray for this one, so they're off. They'll be relegated to playing out next week. Chalet and Oregon, our very first two bans coming in. And I like that Oregon was banned out by Minutemen. I like this. But Froggers, come on. Come on, give McCready his first Chalet cast. Coastline Cafe last two to go, meaning that we're going to Clubhouse.
I'm just resigned to the point where I'm never going to cast Chalet. It's just always going to be banned. Because think about it, right? The second week, Whippet, of Buell, the one where I actually started casting, well, simply put, the auto ban. Like, I love auto ban, and you can see exactly why. We're not going to Villa, we're not constantly going to Oregon or Club. Well, because of it, I never saw Chalet. And I won't get to now. Frogger's taking it first off, probably because they're not comfortable on it. Probably because the last time that they were on Chalet, well, a record was made with it.
And, well, it's not a record. I don't think they're going to be wanting to reminisce about it. As it was Max D, or under that time, ideal, he was playing under as that server, breaking the Badass University All-Stars kill record in the very first game he played in the season. A monumental display from him. And was it 25 or 26 kills he managed to accumulate over the entirety of that Chalet matchup?
26 kills. And I would like to point out something very quickly. Froggers on Chalet. Now, that's a huge position. Now, like I said, they want to get rid of it, because why would they want to go back? At all. That was such a difficult position to be in, having that record set on you from the very start. But they've taken it to overtime against every team they've played. Coconut Crack, for example. The Princesses. I'm not exactly sure the other team that they played. But honestly, that's incredible. Although, speaking of Ideal and Max, that I do want to say, and I think this is the point I wanted to say earlier, but I just remembered, I'm very much looking forward to the new nickname that he's having, the new username on Uplay, because I don't know if you've heard about it yet. I think I might have told you. Sturksy from Sniper Monkeys ratioed him on Twitter, and he said, whoever ratios this, the hardest gets to choose my new username. So Max P is on the way, guys. Look forward to it. But Clubhouse. It's one of those maps that you can't look at and say, well, it's not a good map. You look at it and say it's an overplayed map. We talked about it before with Oregon. And maybe a little bit with CAF as well, because we're having the T4 trifecta at the moment, which you do talk about, or the T4 starter pack, as I've heard of it. Now, that's how I was introduced to it. You have Villa, CAF, and Clubhouse, but then Oregon rework came in. And, well, it's taken that role very, very comfortably. But enough about what maps we've seen, what maps are default. Let's talk about it specifically with it.
Well, going into Clubhouse, again, it's one of the maps that is pretty old. Again, it's not the default state it was in the game launched, but we've seen it, updated with small map buffs, and since then, it's remained the same. And it's one of those maps that I think is a great litmus test of how a meta is going. It's always changed and adapted. Whether you think of last SI, during that climate we were in with the 22nd meta, the SSG roam was super prevalent with that 2-1-2 strategy where you'd spread that basement defense thin, going across all the floors, and now it's far less around that. It's far more fluid and flexible. There's always changes. There's always teams trying to innovate on this map in particular because it lends itself to it. There's lots of options this can bring, and I'm still seeing stuff and watching teams do new and interesting things every few weeks, and I love that. It's a map with such age, having such diversity, and always seemingly developing is interesting. And will we see any of those kind of new adjustments from either of these teams? Interesting to see that. But our bans coming out is going to be a Thatcher and a Jackal, and this Jackal ban, I don't know how I feel about this one.
Something I feel sad about is Yukio's uncle Sugma died, dude.
You know how much it pains me to not follow up with that one?
Yeah, well, you can't.
Physical pain.
You can't see it, but right now I'm doing the L dance, so just, you've got to take it at this point. But looking at the map, well, the Thatcher Jackal, that's taken away. Cade is also removed, and you think about the hatches. But there's something missing here, isn't it, from your typical bands? And, well, there's a Spaniard who 9 times out of 10 wouldn't be here.
Sorry. Sorry.
Are you just reading chat, are you?
All chat is getting me a little bit flustered. I mean, I love it, man. It was sometimes when people are having a fun old time at all chat, it reflects on a positive match environment, so hopefully it's going to be a good one. Well, NSJ, you can't quite bring out Flores just yet. He's not in our competitive climate, but I'd imagine he'll be 6-picking away from that.
I do need to watch. Now, Flores has come into a new meta, and it's very interesting, right? And it's a new strat that I've kind of heard about, and it's the Goblin strat.
don't, no, no. um,
And that's what we call checkmate in chess. So, moving at this site, the 6th pick is,
did I just want, did I just want the team to know you?
Right, okay, so 6th pick has gone on to Ash. Source has to be TK'd, otherwise, well, he's being taken away. And in the business, well, we call that freeload, don't we? So, looking at this site, Clubhouse, it's a map that feels like the grandfather of Siege. It's had such an impact, it's interesting, like you said. Consulate is actually the most original map, as in, it's as true to the form when the game was released. It's the oldest untouched map. But it hasn't had the same impact as Club. Club has definitely been that kind of... It's been kind of the flagship of Siege, if you know what I mean. Bar Ash ACOG.
Oh, dude, man. I was, I believe it was...
Alder ACOG. Ooh.
Oh, God. I actually think Alder Maestro got more potent when he lost it. Okay.
He's alive. Basically, if Source doesn't die right now, in the next 30 seconds or so, Froggers are going to win a round. And when they've just lost Yukio in that opening kill on the garage door, well, that's huge. Soul will find that kill and even things out. An incredible refrag coming out. And, well, Whippet, as we start our journey into Clubhouse, I want to just remind, if we're going to see an upset coming out today, Minutemen are going to bring something huge. This is a team that has stood up to the best in the lobby and took every single team to overtime, but not close it out once. Now, the smoke canister will go off.
They're just going to vault through this.
No, they're going to make rotates. I think a very aggressive push. They're kind of saying, okay, well, let's play for some fun. Let's enjoy ourselves. If we win it, we win it. But let's get some fun in here. Let's get some energy. Oh, my lord. This is going to be pain.
It very much will. Look, it's reversed in such a great position. If anyone so much as stumbles into that door, they're going to be met by a hailstorm of 5.56 ammunition lobbed out of that all day itself. And no one wants that. You don't want to be on the receiving end of that punishment, but, well, Maestro very nearly finding his head cleaved from his shoulders, and oh, what a shot from Reversed! A great headshot from him to take that Nomad out of the fight, and the first official kill from Froggers. Or from...
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Minutemen, they might be here to play, but Froggers isn't, and Reverse is looking to make that very, very evident. With the Elder, she sings the sweet song of death as you do love. We haven't really seen it have that much of an impact so far, but the L4C is going to have a nice little retour. They're going to have a little song sing-off. I'm not sure what it's called. But most importantly, what we're going to see is that opening kill. You take away the Nomad. You shut down so much flank watch. You can shut down that Alder from actually making it back to sight with that Nomad. Suddenly, Dumfries is going to be pushing in alone after Reverse finds one kill, finding another. Now, well, you're just going to shut everything down. The Diffuser, it's stuck on its own. Kieran has to try and get something all on your own in a 1 versus 3 in construction. The Legion Mine goes off, and now, Froggers, they're going to get to work. Hazard being taken away, a 1 versus 2, but the Alder and the Vigil. That's a difficult combo.
This is not going to be a fun fight to take, and I imagine the moment he sets a single foot across the threshold into cash, he's going to find himself decimated and ripped apart by that LMG. The grenade to no avail, not finding damage, but perhaps trying to clear away utility. A cautious approach, tapping through a wall, but we hit that red timer. Surely Kieran knows this round is a lost cause. Steps on in the cash, and well, it wasn't the Alder to put him down, but he wasn't long for this world as Vulcanoid finds that kill and gets their team to victory.
Yeah, now, big thing that I was looking at is, well, you see Kieran, well, what else is he going to do, really? Because, you know, he's already in a 1 versus 2, he's found a kill, but, well, it's not great. You're going up against an Alder, you're going up against a Vigil, and Reversed is deadly, lethal. Every single time I played against that man, I have found myself in the dirt. And I'll show you something later. It's a clip of him actually ruining me, dude. But that's in game. I must say. Yeah, no. We're not going to... Vulcanoid. Yeah. Somebody else I want to talk about. She's also a Season 1 veteran coming through. The only one in this lobby, if I'm not mistaken. Unless Hazard was involved, but I don't think he was. Vulcanoid, she struggled out with Fuking Zoo. She had a difficult time to really find her place. But in my opinion, I think she's really started to step up. She's found that opening kill. And most importantly... she's found a team that kind of lets her play her own game. She's had a much stronger performance than we had in Season 1, and I'm very pleased about that.
Certainly. So finding a team that gels to your best played strategy is always important, and hopefully, as Froggers continues to grow, her performance can enhance as well. So moving in, round number 2, down to the basement we go, and well, we saw the Frost getting flashed. Then 6 pick 2, the Cap Cannon. Well, you can see the cogs perhaps turning into that one. They wanted to bring a trap operator. It's odd. Cap Cannon's an unusual choice, but I never count out the fact that you can bring them, because essentially, if those EEDs are placed in reasonable positions and drone game perhaps isn't that ideal, it can, find some early damage and even some kills in those pinch situations.
Okay, now that's actually something I do want to talk about. Now, I pretty much written off Cap Cannon, kind of thought, okay, well, maybe there's a bit of merit actually to it, because, you think about a utility-based meta, you're thinking about 20 seconds pushing onto site. Well, are they going to be checking doorways? In those 20 seconds, that's when the mistakes are made, because you're putting the attackers into high-pressure situations. Do they check the doorways? No. Something that really, two things really impacted my opinion on Cap Cannon, made me think, okay, I don't think a team's throwing as much when I see them. Well, first of all, is Yukio going to be able to find this opening kill? Second of all, it was my girlfriend. She just started playing Capcan and is actually incredibly good at it. We expect that many times, but she is really good. She gets trapped. She's guaranteed at least 2 kills every single game. Yukio, though, I'm going to assume it will be taken away. Yes, he will. Rua being able to find that refrag on that roam clear. But the big thing is now, all that utility's on the board. There's nothing really taken away. And then, the further thing that really cemented my idea with it was Bull Season 1. And those of you may know Orca, and she enjoys Ash. She enjoys aggression and finding very good gunfights. Well, started to check them, Mali in particular, actually. Well, they started bringing Capcan every round, and Orca struggled, and there it is! Yukio gets a second kill, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. They're not checking the angles. They're not checking the corners. Now they definitely are. Well, they've just lost Sledge, the only person to get a kill in this round so far. Oh, whip it. Oh, you love to see it. Reverse will get aggressive, but will be taken down by Source, and we will have a little bit of a cut there. But right now, we're seeing flank cams being put up. We're seeing Nomad cameras. You've evened it out, but at the moment, it's just Minutemen playing catch-up.
It really is. I mean, my brain, not only fried from our previous match in Oregon, but that Capcan trap just pop! And instantly finding that kill not ideal at all. Less than a minute remains, 55 seconds. Volcanoid finds a kill on the Age of Soul. 3 versus 2 now. And upstairs, that roam presence from Volcanoid. Well, she can just cause so much chaos as Hazza finds a great shot onto NSJ. Oh, well, Kira not long for this. A rapid swing as Frog.
You're trying to keep a straight face, aren't you? But no, Froggers, they're able to find another round. Constantly Minutemen playing catch-up. You've seen Yukio finding the first kill. Huge performance. You take away Bunk. You take away a lot of that kitchen potential. Suddenly, Sledge is going on the refrag, finds a kill. Gets to main lobby. Gets to main bar. And, well, we're not going to talk about that. But then suddenly, well, you think about it. You have... Look at it. We got it. Yes. But look at the players still on the lineup. You've still got Kieran. He's the only one with the potential to really get kitchen soft breach done. But at that point, you're so many players down, and you still got Volcanoid on the roam. There was no roam clear coming out. As soon as you got that first kill, you said, yeah, we're done. Jim Bedrin for Froggers, who have currently taken 2 rounds to Minutemen's nothing.
Oh.
You're loving this, aren't you?
I love it, right? It's such a, like... a great, like, kind of change of pace, a really fun, different tempo to what we witnessed on Ori. And, Ori was, very close to his brawl, but this is, I think, 2 teams having a little bit more fun with their situation. And, well, so far, Froggers have found their early success. 2 rounds to the good on Clubhouse, and can they continue to build upon that? Minutemen, though, very important for them. They need to try and stop this hemorrhaging of rounds, because, as we mentioned, they're negative 16 on round differential. Make that negative 18 now. They need to start winning rounds. Otherwise, well, they're going to be left behind from everyone else.
Mr. Whippy, I know...
Oh, stop.
Yeah, remember that image. But most importantly, I want you to... I don't like criticizing people, but can you keep it together? We've seen a Capcan kill. I'm going to be honest, I'd like to see a couple more. But looking at this round, we're going to see a very typical defense coming out from Froggers. And the players that are going into this position... Well, they're just not wanting to mess around. It's electrified thanks to the use of Hazard and the Bandit charges. This also allows, you can electrify that wall, and you can also go and get that Jacuzzi wall done as well. Minutemen, the question is, are they going to go for that go for the roam clear? Or are they just going to collapse onto site? Even if, the way that we've seen them play so far, do they want to open up that Logi hatch, go for a rush, take control of construction, and cut the defense into a half? There is merit to that idea. It's very difficult to do, and you need to be a very highly skilled team to do it. But, well, you know, I'm seeing a team that wants to employ, you know, unorthodox strats. They want to try something different, and, well, with it, that's exactly what I want right now.
This is... Oh man, this entryway has to be important here. This Ash needs to be able to find a successful entry for Minutemen and be able to build upon that, but has inside a bar, behind that bar, pouring out some great drinks. And well, the pubs are open in some places of the world, and Ash, that's not vertical. You can't do that there. It's a concrete block, and Haz is going to completely shut you down. You can't make too much noise in his vicinity, otherwise he's going to pounce and get that kill. That's going to be, not an ideal start for Minutemen.
Bars aren't open for me, but Yukio is going to be going down and will be taken out on the CC window. There. That's something good from the Minutemen. We're seeing the flank watch. They're realizing if you're playing on these windows, you need to play on CC. Because it's like somebody who just left some, like, you know, all the money in the world just lying around. You gotta take it. You can't just say no. If there's a CC window and you're playing on the windows, now Source is going to go for a kill onto that main stairs player. Volcanoid will take some damage, but in the position she's in, well, she just walks downstairs. You still have that 4 versus 4 Froggers, very comfortable because Minutemen don't have much map control. You've got Hazard down below, you've got Volcanoid over towards that cache area looking to go back up, and while the breach is open, on Jacuzzi, Minutemen have done nothing with it, really. They're starting to burn utility into Gym, they're starting to clear things out, but Froggers, they're just too comfortable. There's no pressure at all, but the drop will come through from Kieran. Now, suddenly, we'll see Volcanoid getting down at that CC window we talked about. Reverse, though, is able to find a kill onto Kieran. We will see Flo getting that refrag, just about downing the Nomad, but 30 seconds left. A push has got to come through soon.
That's gonna be a flurry of kills there as the super shorty claims 1 life. Age of Sol retorts, his reversed is reduced to ashes, but in a technical 2 versus 1 now, as you see Volcanoid left indeed. You know, Age of Sol has lots of work to do and not lots of time to do so, and well, not gonna have much left in that round. Is shut down by the headshot at the hands of the T5 SMG, and yet another round in favor of Froggers.
Yeah, very, very nice from them. Now, the big thing, I said the big thing, but no, realistically, it's just something simple. Minutemen, there's not much coordination coming through when it comes to these pushes. There's a fair amount of tunnel vision, in my opinion. You're looking at this Ash, trying to get this vertical play. Sure, you got it in the wrong place. That's not the important bit. The important bit is, why are you doing vertical play with no support? Why are you doing vertical play with no flank watch? No information at all to be shot in the back from a bandit on main stairs. That's the big issue for me. Why are we seeing them starting to push through one at a time? They're making these plays. They're getting Kieran to drop into that logistics room and try and put control on construction, maybe towards main hallway. Nothing's there to back it up. Minutemen, they don't have any support to really follow through. They don't divert the attention in the way that you need to in that position. You need to get that player dropping, guns firing, attracting all the eyes, so that the rest of your very spread out team can just jump in, maybe get the plant, get a couple of kills in the back of the head. No, we just saw them being picked apart. Now they're going to be heading back to this CCTV, and, well, they don't have a Flores on their team, but you do have Reverse with the Older.
Yeah, okay, well, is it odd to go for Flores to the Maestro, but I'll work with this one. Okay. They have no drone that goes burr, burr, boom, but they have an LMG that just goes burr for a long time. Listen, I tried, okay? It wasn't my best work. Alright? Don't judge me, Grady. I know you're sitting there taking notes, judging me. Oh, you're eating... Oh, what cereal are you eating, though? What are you munching on?
It's Weetabix, chocolate minis. But, well, when we get back to the really important things, I'm really hungry and I really want it. But, Minutemen, they're starting to drone out. They're starting to get this control. Age of Sol, it looked like maybe wanted that wallbang, but that's not a soft wall. They know where this Maestro is. This was a huge problem area in the last time they were attacking this site. They need to deal with it some way. A very simple way to deal with it is you open up that garage, you bring a Capital on the board, but who do you swap for it? In my opinion, you'd switch out that IQ, bring the Capital, flame it out, make sure they can't come through. Whereas now what we want to see from the attackers is a successful math trick. They're going to get that breach open. Now, if they had a Capital, they could flame out, push him out of position, and just have so many crossfires. Suddenly, that Maestro has nothing to do. But right now, he's perfectly fine. He's able to find one kill. Yukio will add on to that with another onto Rua. And suddenly, Sources on his own on this breach, and Mull realistically has to work out what to do. The rest of the team nowhere to support him.
This is a very tricky round now for the Minutemen. They find oh no! The timing on that is the M67 frag pulled from Maverick's pocket. The sound cue cues his execution, and that's gonna find the advantage sitting 5-2 for Froggers now. And well, the time reversed, gonna reduce it to a 5 versus 1, and Vulcanoid lies in wait and shuts down Age of Sol. Lying prone, waiting for a moment to strike, and does so perfectly. And that is Froggers finding yet another round.
Very comfortable from Froggers. That's the key thing for me. There's no pressure. Every single round has felt very comfortable. Oh, maybe that second one. But even then, we're seeing a low time scenario, and we're seeing Froggers just wanting to get aggressive and just peeking and winning their gunfights, and it doesn't seem like there's any real sweat on their back. We're not seeing the Capcan coming out from Yukio, but we are seeing the Tachanka, which is probably going to get 6-picked. They bring out the Mute. Okay, well, droning has not been a strong point of the Minutemen lineup, so the Mute Mozzie combo, I'm thinking, okay, I think it's just comfortable for the setup. It's comfortable for what guns they're on at this point, because Reverse loves that Mozzie. Most importantly, the C4, the MP5, which I expect Yukio to be bringing, because, well, yeah, you can use rotates, but you've got impacts. You've got 6 to be precise. And, well, unfortunately, as unkind as it may seem, well, we're looking at, you might as well not bother with trying to impact, because Minutemen have been struggling to get anywhere, let alone the kitchen, and in a position to start doing hard breach.
Oh. I thought that shotgun blast was going to team kill.
I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, dude, I was so scared. I just saw it coming. I saw that preempt. I was like, is he going to blast his teammate in the face with some buckshot? Just about avoided that one. So, it looks like we're going to see some road presence. Vulcanoid going upstairs, and she just can sit upstairs and do so much damage with it. Like, this is going to be nightmarish for the Minutemen to fight against. Not only are they not going to have exact information of where this vigil is going to be lurking, but they have pests. So as they try to get that information, their drones will be gobbled up by those pests, and they won't have any information to work with. And if they commit too much to clearing this vigil, they'll have nothing for the later stages of this execution. Age of Sol leading the charge, and you know, Minutemen, they need to find something. They need to have a catalyst. They need to, you know, get something, you know, course it through their veins, find some passion, snort some nondescript energy powder, and get going at this one, because, well, they're yet to really have that spark, have that moment that shows to me that they can claim a round against Froggers.
Yeah, now, we want to see what happened with Randy Ravens. I want to see, okay, at this point, I want to see 2 rounds on the attacking half. I want to see the defense really start to step up. But Minutemen, they're getting this top control. They're starting to open some hatches, and they're ignoring kitchen for just a little bit. So, well, that's basically saying to me, you take control of blue if you're trying to play a strat-heavy game. Then, as soon as you have control of blue, you drop in Moto. 2 players committed to each position, 1 player on that main stairs. Now, kitchen will start to get opened up, but, well, it's going to be impact truth anyway. So, what you can realistically do is you can just shut down their focus. You can say, okay, well, this kitchen hatch is being open, let's start pushing while they're not looking. Vigil's still on the roam, like you said, and just holding, so that's going to be a real big problem as we do approach the late stage of this round. Though, Minutemen, they're taking their time, they're positioning themselves very comfortably, as Dumfries will take some damage on the main stairs, but you cannot die. You need to be able to cut off these rotates if a round win is on the card. You will try and take out Flo, but, well, the peak was just quick enough, a bit too fast for you to catch up on. Minute ticket down, and, well, Minutemen, this is your opportunity. Be true to your name, as the minute does tick down, and I want to see a jump in, because they're saying, oh, we're Minutemen, let's go. Flu will take some damage. Dumfries will drop down and have control of this pulse wall, and just about gets the down. Very low HP, Dumfries, but you're able to get it. Anyway, Vulcanoid on the flank will find Kieran, shuts them down, and now we're starting to step things up. Source able to find a kill onto Yukio, and Dumfries finding another one to Flo. Okay, Minutemen, now we are starting to play with fire. One player on site, one player on defense. Play the raid frags. This is where you win. Reverse takes the header, Source Dumb, and Soul! Rua, what? What?
What?
Volcanoid cleaning it up. How? What is happening?
Reversed just goes around the corner and goes, alright, chaps, tip tip, bing bong, I'll claim your heads, and does so. Gets away unpunished, and well, Nomad stumbles in the sight to only be met by the K1A of Volcanoid. Oh, that moment inside of Moto. What? One magazine of Aroni is often barely enough to get through one opposition, but, well, Reverse managed to find 3. Look at this! Oh my, they line up perfectly! Great shot on Wage of Soul, and well, one magazine was not only enough to clear a drone, to clear and then clear 3 oppositions, pop 3 heads, absolute take a bow. Take a bow, 5-0 advantage for Froggers. Can they make it 6 rounds in a row as Gym Bedroom is their side of choice?
The P10 Roni, I love it. And if anybody ever slates it, I'm showing them that clip. Sure, the Commando 9's good. It's just personal preference, and if you ever say the P10 Roni is bad, well, there you go. Reverse stepping up huge. Now, if Minutemen are here to have fun, enjoy themselves, Reversed isn't. 10-2 right now. A huge, huge driving force for the team, and most importantly, a huge rock at the moment. Because the rest of Froggers can go do whatever they want, really. And it feels like this game is certainly a case of that. They're going around, they're doing what they want, they're finding kills, and if they don't, well, that's fine. Because you've just got Reversed on site. He's got P10 Roni. He can do whatever he wants. The man is a machine. The Power Rangers T4 team representing. And I am relatively close to Power Rangers. I know them. I've played a few times with some of them in different occasions. Never as a full stack, though. That's weird. But yeah,
You're flexing. You played with
I really am. Yeah, I played that. Well, funny enough.
You get around.
Funnily enough, with it, when you're casting a uni league and you are also a uni student, you tend to know some people. I actually know Restricted. I know Reversed mainly through Trash Waifu from the last game. And that's how I know the rest of the Power Rangers roster. It's really, it's a beautiful circle. But the circle is not the important thing right now. What is this CCTV presence from Flo and Volcanoid. Well, not Volcanoid. Oh, Dad has a hello.
Oh, this would be dirty if he finds it. He just, bonk one hole. I don't think Age of Soul is aware of it. Wow. Given a chance, how's it can strike with the Roni. Once again, causing so much damage to the Minutemen. The opening kill there as Kieran's off the board, yet to have any success in this round. And, well, this is going to be a tricky one for Minutemen. They're being met by this reinforced wall. Jacuzzi finally getting that opened, and again, they're completely ignoring that pressure inside of CC. An aggressive peek there where Rooney can't quite find any damage, so an awkward engagement nonetheless, but still, they know that CC is an active part of the setup from Froggers, and they've ignored it. Perhaps this could work out very well, though. If they can collapse quickly and aggressively on towards Gym and Bedroom, they might they might not have no need to have control of CC and Cash. And it looks like Flu's going to be the only person over there. They're first holding through bullet holes and might be able to find a victim. Finds so much damage, but Age of Soul slaps down Reversed with that ARX, and perhaps showing some signs of life for the Minutemen.
Yes, a player advantage, but with the time being what it is, they're going to have to start moving into these choke points very early on. Volcanoid behind the mattress really going to be a stick in the mud, realistically, in very much the same fashion that mattress itself is. You're looking at Minutemen, they have positional control, they have a good opportunity here to make good. Volcanoid the only one on site at the moment. Question is, will Froggers have that rotate called in very early on? Flo will be able to find a kill onto Source, and Volcanoid wants to try and find a kill, but Dumfries opens things up. 3 versus 2, the Nomad will be triggered, and Hazza is currently off site. Flo's on a rotate on their own, trying to get back onto site and trying to shut things down. The plant will start to go down 50%, 75, and nearly 100. Another air jab will go to Flo, and that's where we see Flo being taken down by Rua. Minutemen, the plank goes down to 3 versus 1, and they're definitely set to get their first round. Dumfries taking them all the way through. They just need quite a few more. That's 1 round on attack whip.
That's 1 round back at least, so they're not going to get 7-0'd, and they can at least say they got a round. It's not going to help their round differential, unfortunately. The damage to that's been done.
Yeah. Unless we really see some strong return.
I
you
mean,
can at least stave off. You can keep it. You know, you see a 7-5. That's a better position than what you'd be if the game ended right now. So, yeah.
That is true.
You stave it off, and then the redemption arc, it's there.
Are they going through the redemption arc now? So,
I think we're well in it.
Oh. It's a mid-tournament arc redemption arc. That's what's going on right now. Can they claw their way back to this one? Side swap, though, occurs. The Minutemen now on the defensive side. Historically, and I have to really preface, historically on this map, defense has been strong. A very impervious task to many teams, but in recent memory, the last couple of seasons of competitive play, this map has got very, very attacker-friendly. That's one of the benefits of an older map being the pool. When it's being figured out like this, the attacking side can somewhat just avoid the advantage that defensive can bring in, because everything's been roughly done. Setups don't change too much. It's always the micro that always evolves on this map. So, can Froggers read into this setup? It looks like we're going to see a pretty standard. All of garage being reinforced. Likely rafters will be held, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty solid bunker up site. Perhaps we might see Kieran off on that roam as he's on that Jaeger, perhaps towards Master Bedroom, even chilling an oil pit to try and cancel that entry onto rafters.
Now, big thing for me, that I look at this site and I say, okay, bans aside, because you look at this, okay, assume there's a Thatcher Maverick ban. Well, Minutemen, they could even use the K-Claws on, they could use it on the breach and put them in those funny K-Claw spots like C to make sure that not even a Cali can open that breach. Only a Thatcher can get that utility. Or they could use the K-Claws in the rafters position. The garage is shut down. A Maverick is banned on the board, so you force that play to go below because you have a mute jam on the wall. That can happen. That's very fun to see. I really enjoy it. I don't think it's the best way to play the site, but I think we're at the moment when we have a lot of time to talk about what we want to see. Now, the rafters player of Dumfries is going to be using these Wamai magnets really to shut things down and show where maybe you want to bring Wamai in rafters instead of Maestro. Although Reversed has given a very, very convincing case.
Definitely so. Impact tossed up from that Zephyr. That's going to be able to try and put some pressure on this wall. Bandit can no longer trick that accurately, so it's going to be very dangerous. IQ below removes the second Bandit charge, and Vulcanoid below has that scanner to be able to kind of avoid any extra utility on the soft source, but doesn't look like there's going to be any available. Yukio is going to use those Selma charges to great avail, opening up that main wall, as Kieran's going to be finding himself inside the shower cubicle. Now, I don't know how I feel about this, because the moment someone thinks about checking it or a drone stumbles in your general vicinity, you've got nowhere to run. You're forcing yourself into a corner as Reverse gets from the Dumfries. There's a 5 versus 3. Kieran's going to try and get called up into action now, wielding the red dot sight on the Jaeger. An interesting choice, not a common attachment to see, but nonetheless, if it works, it works. And can he make it work for him here? A minute 10 remains. He's still alone and isolated from his team. He has yet to make that recovery over. This is going to be a very crucial battle on red stairs. However, as Yukio is already in sight, going down the plant, we hear C4 rift. It's not going to land its mark. The gas canister is overshot as well. And a post-plant situation now for Froggers. They find themselves in a very advantageous one. It's going to be a flurry of kills. Kieran gets one. That's going to be the smoky SFD getting another one. Reverse Stowe is going to trade that off. 3 versus 2, still in favor of the attacking side. And that timer now is going to be the arch nemesis of the defensive of Minutemen. Can they battle against it? Now, Sauce looking for an angle down towards that open breach. Perhaps might spot the rifle of the Sevilla, but Vulcanoid gets a kill off in the distance. It's a 2 versus 1. It's all down the Sauce against Flu and Vulcanoid. And this is going to be a very tricky fight indeed. Finds himself cornered and isolated on the side of rafters as he vaults in, finds a fight with Vulcanoid, but the call is made. Flu swings, and Sauce falls.
Very clean post plan coming through. You had a player Flu right there. You had Vulcanoid holding from that red stairs of the breach. Well, simply put, you're not getting that plant down as soon as that time is ticking down to that kind of area. You've seen Sauce. He's been able to walk into rafters, and no, that should not happen at all with it. But he found the kill, Flo immediately. Okay, well, he's stuck here. He goes through either through the window or through the rotate. I'm covering the rotate, you cover the window. Bum. Round is done. Everything is over. So, I look at this. Simply put, match point deserved from Froggers. Minutemen not helping in the round differential like we discussed. Most importantly, not really having that spark. And I hate being critical about teams, but there's very little to really talk about in a game like this. We're seeing the Minutemen really struggle to put anything on the board. It feels like they're just kind of playing 5 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1. They're playing very isolated gunplay. It feels like when you see a pre-made team going up against a team of 5-stack, of randoms, okay? There's very little coordination that you can really see. There's something there. There's an idea. There's a game plan. It's not being executed in the same way that Froggers are. And it's the fact that the way that they play together just doesn't... It just doesn't ring with me with it.
Yeah, I think we have to echo that. It does feel like Minutemen are playing that very isolated style of play, but to perhaps try and, bring some positivity to this, Froggers have played exceptionally well as a cohesive five-man unit. They've been absolutely perfect. Everything from coordination and swings to getting that post plant down to cornering pinches and executions, they've been on point. And well, a 6-1 is a dominant, but in this case, a deserving scoreline.
That's the right approach. That's the way to look at it, I think. It's not the fact that Froggers have... It's not the fact that Froggers really have just stomped them, it's just they played together. And it is a deserving scoreline because that's something that you can't move forward and you can't pick up points with it. Look at that, Vulcanoid with the Claymore. Like, it feels like you're kind of in a fever dream of Siege. You go from Oregon being high energy, huge octane, And now we're just seeing Ruin, starting the eventual dismantling of the Minutemen, which you've seen every single time. Although, actually, it's a kill going the other way. Ruin has found a kill onto Froggers, but... can it stave off the inevitable? You have these players in positions, you have impact tricks ready, you have information, so maybe you've got a kill, you put some more rounds on the board, but how more? How many more rounds can you bring up? How long can you keep going? You've got to play a perfect game for 5 more rounds, only to push Froggers to overtime, which they've been in every single scenario. Soldo will put us one step closer towards that Vulcanoid being taken away. But the IQ, the late round potential of the IQ, it's not as huge as, say, a Zephyr or a Nomad. The smoke, though, will take away that Nomad. Like I was talking about, Minutemen, okay, they're taking them apart and taking them into the one-on-one isolated positions, which is where we've seen Minutemen fall. Now we're just seeing a bunch of one-on-one engagements and Froggers not winning out. They're still, though, in blue position, has are ready to drop onto that blue as soon as the hatch is open, or ready to drop kitchen hatch. It depends. With the Habana, that kitchen hatch can be open. The information, though, for reversed is there. This is the big mainstay for the Froggers. He's able to find one. He's holding the angle, watching for a refrag, while Hazard looks to get in position. They drop at the right time. They drop together. Suddenly... Minutemen, what are you going to do? 2 versus 1. We're going to see reverse being taken down by Source, though Hazard all on his own. Minutemen wanting to keep themselves in it. Whereas Hazard, he could shut them all down. 4 kills are needed.
This will be a monumental task if he can pull it off, but at this point I don't doubt it, but perhaps I should, as Age of Soul makes a swing and finds the kill. Minutemen take round number 8, and they're second in this matchup. It's, I just saw what you posted in our production chat. I despise you.
No, you didn't. Hey, it's great. It's great.
I mean, Minutemen, that was a much better round from them, and it looked a lot like they were using utility in a far better way to either get kills or force unadvantageous positions off the side of Froggers, and they were able to capitalize off that very well. The early kill they got as well, that was very important for the entirety of that round. Getting that opening kill as a massive benefit. Inside of T1 play, getting this first kill on the defensive side can often increase your chance up to 60% of winning that round. So a massive kind of thing to keep your eye on if Minutemen can perhaps find that opening kill and not get that instant trade-off from Froggers as we go up to CC and Cash Room now as Minutemen's next defense ensues.
We've seen them a couple of times start putting that opening kill on the board, and they've been able to succeed in the round. But, well, this was where they went last time. They lost it out. You're on match point. Minutemen, honestly, I want to see you go to Gym Bedroom. You don't have the opportunity. You don't have enough rounds to really try and mess around and keep trying at something that might not work. For example, it's something we talked about on Oregon. Try around twice in a row, and then if it doesn't work, you move on. Right now, Minutemen, I'd say if you lose the sight, go to Gym Bedroom. Try something new they don't expect if you have shots for it. I'm not advocating for a bar stock. I'm saying it's on the table. Maybe put another round on the board before you actually come back to this site or go to bar stock. But don't try it immediately. Remember, Froggers, they've been performing really well. As long as Reverse stays alive, well, then they're pretty much set to win the round. As long as he's alive within the first couple of minutes. The opening kill, if Froggers get it, then honestly, the round's done. I haven't seen any adaptation, any coordination from Minutemen that justifies me saying if they, if they don't kill Reverse, they could still win it.
I mean, there's still that potential. Ah, man. I'm just... Froggers have played this so well, and I'm just trying to figure out how Minutemen can try to contain this fire right now. Minutemen have been efficient. Like, no doubt upon that. Everything that they've done is well thought out, well oiled, in a very kind of structured manner. Minutemen are that more chaotic style. I think that's just becoming of their, their personalities, the way they've been playing this so far. Volcanoid down below, doing great work with that IQ, getting rid of that mute jammer and bandit charge. Potential now for Habana to open up this wall. And Volcanoid's going to be able to do that uncontested. Unchallenged, no one decided to swing on her position or even try and contest that directly, so, I mean, okay, perhaps that could be something Minutemen look at, but that was utility given up, essentially.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why that happened, but right now what we're seeing from Froggers is they're just getting that utility off the wall. That construction's opened up, so you can quite possibly see, seeing this breach is open, rotate around the construction, keep a player with that diffuser on the breach, you start putting pressure onto Cash. You suddenly say, right, this is where they defend a lot of the site from, this is where they hold it, this is where they say, right, let's put the pressure on. Let's adjust their rise. That Red Stairs player has to deal with Cash as well. And Red Stairs and will do some damage to Yukio, but not enough to get the kill. Yukio tries to use the vertical play. Right now, you're just seeing Froggers manipulating how the site is set up and their team position to just deal with the Minutemen. And neither team really has had such a strong impact that's been devastating on the ground. Farthest above the breach. Yukio, well, you're stuck on that breach. What else are you going to do? The Froggers, they're getting ready for a push. The FCC window, the construction presence, they can just start collapsing in. They might be able to vote that. I'm not exactly sure, but right now, Yukio doesn't want to do it. It's going to have to be Hazard. In doing so, will have to put himself in harm's way of the Red Stairs and the window player. Yukio can't really do that much to deal with it. What's going to happen? Time is being wasted, and the Minutemen, well, now the time is to strike. It's past that minute mark. Let's see something. But Dumfries will get tagged to half HP. Brewer getting aggressive, as will Kieran in construction, making sure this push is very difficult to come through. But Reverse is going to walk into Garage. Okay, we're seeing a lot of power positions just not being dealt with, or just being ignored.
Hazard gets the kill there on the Kieran, but that's going to be a trade-off. Dumfries get one. Flu gets the one. A flurry of kills trading off. Aegislaw gets reversed. It's a 3 versus 3. Side control is there. Hazard's going to try and get a plant down. Snaps it ahead of Dumfries. And Sauce miles outside of the building. Detected for years. A bloodbath ensues. Volcanoid finds one. It's a 1 versus 3. Can Sauce find any kills in this situation? Lots of HP to work with, but not lots of time. Gets one on the Flu. One more to tick off his list. 2 more to go. Hazard's on a single point of HP, so Volcanoid's going to be the primary threat of this one. Prone is going to be at IQ, but Hazard doesn't need more than 1 point of HP because he finds the head of Sauce, shuts them down as Froggers take a dominant victory here on Club.
I asked for a break from that last game, and, well, we got it. A very comfortable game for the Froggers. A very lackluster from... I kind of want to say about teams, because there was a few things from Froggers where they were complacent. They were saying, yeah, well, we're not going to struggle that much. We've been picking up round after round. Versus has been doing a lot of legwork. The main thing, most importantly for me, though, is that the Froggers have just picked up their first win, and in doing so have put Minutemen firmly at the bottom of the leaderboard. That round differential, like we said, has been just shot to hell. So after the end of today, a lot of upsets, a lot of performance coming out from both teams in pretty much every game we saw. A nice relaxed one to end on, though.
It wasn't as action-packed as the Oregon we saw, but again, we saw a very strong and dominant performance from Froggers. They were a pretty well-oiled machine, all things considered. They were able to put out consistent results and consistent performances in those rounds, and ultimately, the dominant scoreline, and I think it was a well reflection of how they played. I believe now they can actually leapfrog quite a few teams, and I believe they can find themselves deep in the midfield now, so a great result from them. And this first half of the Playday has been very turbulent. As you mentioned, upsets all around. As we move into tomorrow, will we see more of those upsets occur? Because, well, first place in the standings is very much up for grabs for everyone playing, or for one team in particular, playing in tomorrow's bracket.
Yeah, that's going to be the Princesses making another appearance, wanting to be the standout team for tomorrow, but that's going to be yourself and Jerry looking after that. So for the rest of the week, I'm going to say goodbye. I'll see you guys next week. Most importantly, a huge shout out to our production, Grissom and Science on production and observation. together. Then you've also got Peak and Santa behind the scenes, Santa working the replays and Peak helping him out. Huge shout out to everyone involved and the chat as well. But that's going to be it for today. Have a nice night, have a nice evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. Got me stone cold. No Wizard of Oz can undo what I've done. Completely out of luck this time. I'm stuck in reverse. I gotta get away now, but I can't seem to take the lead. Oh baby, how could I know there was no second chances? Like dominoes, my life got really scattered. Still, I find myself hoping that you'll find your way back to me. 'Cause I've been stone cold since you left me here. So come home, why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted.